Praise the Lord. Oh God, my hair is rising. Oh, hold on. Wait, this one. Oh my gosh. Why is it getting so big? This humidity is killing me. Oh my God. Anyway, hi guys. How are we doing? Welcome. He's it on time, God. That is not our song. Yes, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah. We got so much to talk about, so won't you come on in the room? We have a lot to talk about, which is why I'm doing 2 lives today, but I made my next live at 3 p.m. because I just feel like we're going to be doing a lot of talking today. So, so let's get into it. Hey, you piece of pie. Hey, Dr. M, you were on my mind today. So I hope you don't mind that I prayed for you. Because I was just thinking about you. And I was just like, Dr. M, why is Dr. M on my mind today? Let me pray. Anyway, how are you? Hi, Black Lavender. How are you? Hey, AJ. Hey, E for empathy. What's up? Said, hey, y'all, been waiting for this. Thank you for being here. Hey, Elise. How are you? I love that you guys are like friends. You know what I mean? Even if it's internet. Because I used to, before you guys, I used to be like, you really can't make like genuine friendships online. But, you know, the Star family has convinced me otherwise. But and so I love that you guys are like you know, friends. Hey, Black Lavender said Drew was up there singing a hot 42 seconds and loved it. Yeah, we will talk about that. That was weird. That was very, very weird. Very, very, very weird. What's up, TT? Hey, Dear Show Podcast. Hey, Asta. How are you? Missy said, hey, Nikki. Hey, Star fam. Hope you all are well. I missed y'all. Oh, missed you too. So Steph says, I have not been interested in the Real Housewives of Atlanta after the first episode. The show is so dry, and Kenya is trying to produce scenes and doing her usual, making a mountain out of a molehill, tired and delayed. I will say, and I had to work on this for myself. And I actually started to do this work after I saw a tweet from Scotty by Nature, who I love. He tweeted, he was just like, fans just need to realize this is just not the same show. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is not the same show. Like, this is a new cast. Like, it is what it is. Just let it go. And I don't know why that was a breakthrough for me, but it was. And I was just like, you know what? He's right. Like, it's just not the same show. Nene, Phaedra, and Portia are never going to come back. Kim is never going to come back. We're never going to get the same cast that we had before. Even if we got the same cast back, they would not be in the same place to give us the same magic. So now I have to look at this show as just a new show with an old name. And that's how I'm approaching it now. And I'm actually able to enjoy the show more because I'm not comparing it to what it used to be. And I don't go in hoping for it to be what it used to be. I'm just going in okay, this is what it is. And I'm going to approach the Real Housewives of New York like that because if you guys have been here a while, so you know I hate the reboot. I am anti the Real Housewives of New York reboot because that show should have never been put on pause. And I feel like Bravo is scrambling, trying to make something out of that. But I'm going to go in with a fresh approach because I was actually going to go into that show hating. Because I just was not excited about that. I was not excited about that. But, you know, growth. Hey, Jackie. Good afternoon. Hey, Angela. Hey, Marlene. Kiss the baby for me. Hey, Enrico. How are you? What's up, Tia Via? Tia Via, why you acting like a Tia Via? What's up? Oh, no. I'm so sorry, Marlene. I'm so sorry. Let's love on Marlene, fam. She is going to need it. I hope we can keep you laughing. Hey, Mademoiselle H, how are you? Simply Simone, what's up, sis? What's up? You know what, Simply Simone, the craziest thing is, because I follow Simply Simone on TikTok, I will go somewhere and then I'll see your video of, like, you do a video of something, the place that you were just at. I'm like, I was just there. Like, we are literally missing each other. Hey, Asta. Hi, Nikki. Asatu. Oh! Asatu, did you change your name? Is that you? What's up? Hey, Kiki. How are you? Hey, Bianca. Tia said, I'm only watching Martha's Vineyard. I can't do the Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore. We'll get into Martha's Vineyard last because it's like, you know, a lot of people are still just getting into it. But I was going to check out after this last episode for reasons, but I'm going to stick with it. It's a new show. I feel like they're trying their hardest. So, you know, they have a Black EP. So I'm going to do my best to give them the support. But something happened this last episode that I was not here for. Hey, Candace. Yeah, it's different. It's a different show, just an old name. So I'm just going to approach it like that. Hey, Miss Up, this is Sad. Hey, Star fam, looking good, Nikki. Your background looks gorgeous. Thank you. This is my ATL home. Right back there is where the deers are trying to pry open the door. Craziness. LS said, loving this lunchtime live. I know that's right. Sorry, West Coast. I know it's not lunchtime for you guys, but you know, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be doing lunchtime in East Coast in about a few weeks. So it is what it is. What's up, Miss Gigi? Hey, Akosua, what's up? Miss T said, hey, Nikki, I thought I was late, but I'm just in time. Oh, you're right on time. Where's my phone? Hold on. Sorry. Where's my phone? Oh my gosh. Because that's where my notes are. Oh, God. Nikki. Oh, found it. This is the crazy thing. Like this place, like my Atlanta home is a billion times bigger than my LA home. So anytime I need to get something, it's a trek. In LA, I'm like, oh, everything's right here. Atlanta, child, if it's upstairs, forget about it. Forget about it. Okay, we got our notes. We had our notes because we're going to need them. I won't be looking at them too much because I've pretty much am still very heated from what I watched. But some things, we just gotta keep track. Missy says, Housewives has been so long that fans are being cat. Yeah, same thing with Jersey. Oh, okay. Jersey was not on the list, but we have to talk about Jersey. Real quick. So allegedly, Jersey is on pause. Listen, when I heard the news, it was either Simply Simone or So Steph. One of y'all sent it to me. When I got the news, I said, thank you, Jesus, because it's about time. Jersey should have been on pause. There's no story anymore. It's just two families fighting, and I'm done. I'm tired. We need a story. Jersey is diverse. Jersey is money. I don't know why they can't just go to Cherry Hill. Like, that's where a lot of the celebrities are. Like, go there, and you will be able to cast people who really represent Jersey. I think because of Teresa, they are trying to stick with this Italian-American cast, but no shade, this cast is dated. It's done. We need to move on to something fresher in Jersey. And I feel like there are so many beautiful cultures in Jersey, so much diversity, so much money, so many beautiful homes. Like, we could really dive deep into Jersey if this show if Bravo would just do it. I don't know why they've held on to Teresa for so long, but I think this show needs to be put on pause. It needs to be completely recasted. They do not need to stick with, we just need to hire Italian Americans for this, because that is not all of Jersey. You know what I mean? Like, I get Atlanta looking like Atlanta, because if we keep it a buck, that's Atlanta, right? But Jersey is completely different, and I feel like they just need to stray away from that, stray away from Teresa, her bloodline, and just give us something new and fresh. And if you want to stick with Teresa because she does have a dedicated fan base, give Teresa her own little spinoff like you did with Kim and Croy. Kim was not that big of a draw, and y'all gave her her own show. You can do that with Teresa. I feel like it's time. Hey, Just Simply. Kiki said, Jersey definitely needs to be put on pause. Absolutely. Social Steph said, Carolyn Manzo said she know who called the feds on Teresa, because it was her. Let me stop. I don't think it was Carolyn. The word on the street is that it was Teresa's brother, Joe. I hope not, because that, I honestly feel like there's no coming back from that. So I hope that's not true, but you never know. You never know. But the way that family is fighting, who knows? It's giving wealth. It's giving stress. It's giving, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I probably wouldn't have did this. But God is good. Back to this comment, Missy. That's the reason why I talked about Jersey. It's because that Rachel Fuda girl is absolutely a fan. Somebody, I think it was Bravo Queens or something, found her Instagram handle before she changed it, and her Instagram was Bravo Lover. So she was essentially, a fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. Unless you bring that fan mentality to the show, and that's absolutely what Rachel did. Like, it's tired. It's done. We need to move on. Elise said, Andy did an interview and someone asked which one did he want off, and he answered, keep watching. I say get rid of both of them. Yeah, they need to. But this is the thing. Teresa's done. She's been talking about moving to California with Louis for almost a year now. Like, her kid, like, she's waiting for her youngest to graduate or go off to college, and she's moving to Cali. She don't want to be here anymore. She does not want to film with her brother. She's done. And I feel like the show is keeping her in Jersey. Asta said also Anir already has a white girlfriend. Who are we talking about? Amir. You know what? I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I did. I'm not gagging. I'm not gagged. I am not gagged, but I'm still gonna watch. But I looked at it, I was just like, but I'm going in with a fresh mind. I'm going in with a fresh mind. Hey, Sarah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. This is the thing. I feel like I don't know why in 2023 reality TV people or people who have reality TV aspirations don't just delete their social media. Baby, before I go to the casting, my stuff is deleted. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? You know what? Just simply, I'm glad that you liked her. She wasn't it for me. I felt like she was giving fan behavior too. And I think she went in with the loyalty to Marge. And I'm just like, that's the last thing we needed on that show. It just, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, what's up, my Cameroonian sis? I know that's right. I know that's right. Akusa said, I'm so tired of the two-tone people in foolishness. Who is two-tone? Are we talking about the Judices? Hey, Tartar. Tartar said, hey, Nikki, are you watching Young, Famous, and African? I'm starting it today, and I'll be reviewing the first 4 episodes tomorrow. Same time tomorrow. I'm excited because I've been reading up on it. And this season 2, they came out swinging allegedly. We will see. We will see. Yes, that's why I'm in Atlanta. Girl, I got a lot of time on my hands. I'm glad to be here with you guys. I would so much rather be on set and then come and tell you guys about it. But yeah, I'm just living life. Keep me in the entertainment industry in your prayers because it seems like it's going to be a long summer. So, ciao. Ciao. Poor Annie. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Hey, Desiree. Tracy said, boo. Oh, we're going to get into it tomorrow. I feel like that might be the only live that I'll do because I just feel like there's just going to be so much to talk about because I'm not going to binge watch the season just because I feel like when I do that, it's so many things that I miss from each episode that I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm just going to break it down in 4s. So we can get everything in. Yeah, he has never changed his spots. Like they've been talking about Two-Face and she's still there. Funny you should ask that. I want to get into it, but this is the thing. I've never watched Selling Sunset, right? And there's not allegedly, I checked and there's 8 seasons. So I got a lot of time over here, so I can absolutely catch up. But I just don't know if I catch up, will you guys still be interested? So I'll check in. I'll absolutely check in, but I'm going to watch it. And the only reason why I'm watching it is because Selling the OC was so good. And if Selling Sunset is the predecessor, I got to get into it. Let me get 4 more and then we'll get started. Alex said, hi, Star fan, perfect timing. Just got done with a conference call for work and ready for this live. I know that's right. Booked and busy. Unlike me. Miss Tia said, young, rich, and African. Everybody was swinging at everybody. Can't wait for that live. Oh, I can't either. And apparently we got I think she's Ghanaian. She's Ghanaian culture, right? But she was raised in America. So the Americans have been going up for her. So I want to see what she's saying. I want to see what she's saying. I have not seen Mr. Bunny. I have not seen him. I've seen the Mockingbird. I've seen the Blue Jay. I've seen the Redbird. I've seen the Chipmunk. Chickmunk, yeah, Chickmunk. But I haven't seen Mr. Bunny. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that man. Oh, that's what everybody is saying. I can't wait to get into it. I miss him. I miss Mr. Bunny. Nora said, "Oh, the American Girl was getting on my nerves." Oh, we will see. We will see. I did see a little something where people were just like, "She's embellishing." But you need delusional people like that for reality TV. Yolande said, "Hi, Nikki.Star fam. I'm in the office today, but I will still watch." Thank you. Thank you for being here. What's up, pretty kitty? Last comment, Tartar. Oh, this is the thing. We're going to start with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then we're going to get into Vanderpump Rules. And then we're going to end with Summerhouse, Martha's Vineyard. Tartar said this season was giving love and hip hop vibes. I wanted to see. Oh, no. But see, this is the thing, right? We're never going to get that. And that was just something that I had to come to terms with, that is just never going to happen. We're never going to get Black people just, existing. We're going to need for them to fight, to read, to, get gutta, and then, roast and crack jokes and have a good time. But I feel like the existing part is just not going to be a reality within reality TV, especially from what is expected from Black people, no matter where they are located in the diaspora. Unfortunately, I would love to see like just a reality TV show about a Black family, just doing Black, like a Black version of the Chrisleys, but where the Black family doesn't go to prison. You know what I mean? Like, I would love something like that, but I just don't know if that's a reality. I mean, I am thinking of one show right now called on TLC called Hanging with the Derricos or something like that. But I don't want it to be a show about 12 kids. You know what I mean? Like, I would love for us to have something like that, but I just don't think it's a reality because of how Black predecessors on reality TV have shown out. Oh yes, that's today at 3. So today at 3, I'm doing 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, The Tell All, Part 1 and Part 2. Then I'm going to do 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise, and then we're going to end with Match Me Abroad, which is a really good show. I really, really like that show. I really, really like that show. So much more. I spent some time in Cherry Hill. I lived there for a couple of years. I love Cherry Hill. And it was very diverse. Very diverse. Still looking into it, Mademoiselle H. With the time I have, probably. I don't know, guys. We will see. Run's House. Yes, I did enjoy that. But he was a celebrity, right? So he pretty much had a lot to say so over what was going to be put out about him. So, I don't want it to have to, can it just be normal Blacks? I don't want them to have to be celebrities. I don't want them to have to be from affluent, backgrounds. But he did. I don't know what happened to it. What's up, Greta? What is up? Same thing, Miss Tia. I love them. I think that couple is so sweet. I love their kids, but I'm just like, I'm not in that position or like at that stage of my life or that mindset where this is where I want to watch. This is something that I can relate to or that I just feel like getting into all the time. All the kids have health problems? You know what? Let's move on. Ciao. You're right on time, Teresa G. You are right on time. Oh, where's my notes? There you go. You are right on time. Oh, it's been a hell of a weekend and it's only Tuesday. Ciao. This weather, my God, today, my hair was down to here when I got to Atlanta. It's so freaking hot. And it's cool in my home. It's cool in my home. I don't know if I want to do a live or just a video about it, but I do want to talk about Married at First Sight at some point because I feel like that show should have been off like 2 months ago. I can't believe that we are still in season 15. They have too many seasons. Denver is in July. It's too many seasons. Anyway, let's get into it. Also, in this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're breaking the fourth wall because all of the ladies are talking about BravoCon and how excited they were and how much fun they had. So BravoCon is coming to Vegas. I actually just might go to that because I know people who are not like big reality TV or Bravo fans who went and they had a good time. They had a good time. So I actually just may go. I'm not really big on fan events just because, you know, some of these fans are unwell. We got to be real, especially with the Real Housewives. Some of them fan bases are just unwell. But it seems like a fun time. And it's Vegas is right there. So I may just do it this year. We will see. It looked like a fun time. At least the Brooke Ashley. I was watching her story. She seems to have enjoyed herself. But the cast this episode is breaking the fourth wall. They're talking about BravoCon. And the thing about it is, I love seeing them so excited, getting so much love from the fan base. I will say it was a really, really cute seeing Sonia being so excited, and especially with her being an Olympian, right? Like, I guess with aside from Kandi, with the notoriety that this show brings them and the validation that it brings them, they just were never able to receive it in their respected career. So it's probably just a different vibe. But I like just watching them, like being liked, I guess, like being, talked about in a positive way or some manner, just literally having fans who will love on them and stroke their ego. I will say, Ralph, I think the fan that was yelling at you to gaslight her, I think that was a read. Ralph loved it. He was like, oh, the fans were saying, hey, Ralph, gaslight me. And I'm like, I think that was a read. But you know what? Let him have a good time. Let him have a good time. Let's get into Mama Joyce. At this point, it's too much. It's too much because they had to talk about Mama Joyce disrespecting Todd again at BravoCon. And the thing about it is, you cannot like your daughter's partner, but at the end of the day, she married him. She had kids with him. Like, that's her husband. That's her other half. You know what I mean? If she passes away before him, he got reign over all of that. I know you think that you're going to go in and tell Todd what he's going to do. You can't tell him nothing about Candi's estate as her husband, right? So, like, that is a powerful relationship that is just as important as Candi's relationship with her mom. But this is her husband. This is the father of her two kids. That will also change the dynamic of Mama Joyce's relationship with her grandchildren. So I just don't understand why she continues to publicly disrespect Todd. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. It's actually detrimental to all of her relationships concerning Kandi. And it's just not a smart thing to do. What happened to just being a praying mother? What happened to that? What happened to just watch as well as pray? You know what I mean? Being wise, you know what I mean? Giving your daughter advice, but lacing it with honey so she can take it. I just do not understand why she continues to go after that man publicly. Now, the things that you say in the privacy of your home and to your sisters, that's on you. That's on you, right? But you are sharing this with the world and expecting nothing to come out of this. Praise the Lord. I'm on live. You should be on here with me.
Hey, Star family. Call me back.
Okay. Love you. Bye. I just think at this point, she's just beyond disrespectful and she just needs to stop. Before, I thought that she was just doing it for the show, but now, like, you're doing it at BravoCon, cameras, like outside of the storyline of the show. It's just too much. And I really love that Kandi was finally putting her foot down and was just like, I'm not talking to my mom until she apologizes to my husband. Period. She was wrong. That was completely disrespectful to Todd. Like, she did not have to say that. It was wrong. And I like that Kandi is finally putting her foot down and not doing all that crying and saying, that's my mama, whatever she wants, she's going to get. I love that, right? But she disrespected your husband. So there needs to be some discipline there, and there needs to be some boundaries in that relationship. So I agree with it. I agree with Kandi finally setting boundaries with Mama Joyce. It only took a full marriage and 2 kids. My God, today. Tracy, thank you so much for the super chat. Tracy said, NikkiStar meet and greet in Vegas. We coming. Oh, I never even thought about that. That would be dope. Vegas of all places. Let's talk, Tracy. Let's talk. Thank you for the super chat. Also, I think it's just understood at this point that Mama Joyce is not like Todd, never has and never will. But I do think that there needs to be boundaries, and there does need to be some sort of respect there. I feel like, unfortunately, because she continues to speak out about him negatively, I don't think there's any room for repair, right? And it would not be at any fault of Todd if he does not want to work it out with her, right? If he just wants to be just cordial and not really want to build a relationship. Because at this point, what is the foundation? This woman has hated you from the beginning and continues to talk negatively about him, and the press, to whoever will listen, fans, like in confessionals, whoever will listen, she will say something negative. And it's just unfortunate, because I just do not think that there's a relationship there. And if anything happens to her daughter, my God, today, hell on earth. Bryce, Groove Theory Bryce. So Courtney, this is why I think she got on that show. Like, come on, you just didn't get on the show because you just had a dynamic personality. You let them know that Bryce from Groove Theory is your baby father. It's interesting, right? The type, or the kind of woman that globally fine men get with. You're always like, oh, okay. No shade to Courtney. Like, this is not a read, but I was just like, oh, I would have never thought that this would be Bryce's baby mama. I would have never thought, no shade, that she had a shot. But wow, personality can go a long way. Anyway, Bryce, who I was like, is that him? Courtney reveals that he is her baby father. She comes over to talk to Drew about her issues with Candy. I think Courtney needs to just let it go. I don't think that it's just a smart move for her to come on this show and go after somebody who is critiqued the less. Like, she has the least amount of critiques. She's very well liked on and off the show. It's just not good for you, because you're also going after her with no kind of reasoning, right? Now, Courtney, it would be different if Candy was coming for you. That would change, but you are just coming for her unprovoked, and it's just not working in your favor. It never will. I hope this season you change targets, because this is just, it's not a good look for you, especially as a newbie. You got to come in swinging, but you have to have a better plan. And I don't think you were properly prepped for this show. Kenya, there was one scene where Kenya was talking about being a boss and, girl boss, and doing it all on her own, and having, to get her employees together. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it. It didn't give girl boss to me. It really gave a bad boss. Like, she did not look like somebody who should be leading anything, right? Should be over anything. I honestly get being frustrated because something that you asked for was not done. But where is the couth? Like, you're on camera, they're filming you talking to both of your employees, and you are yelling at this person, disrespecting them, cursing, and calling yourself a fabulous boss in a confessional. Like, to me, I just feel like you don't know what you're doing, right? You don't know how. For me, I just feel like you may know what you're doing, but you don't know how to lead. Because if you can get there so quickly, right, with your employee, if you're trying to explain something and they don't understand how you're explaining it, instead of changing the way you are explaining and maybe finding a different route to get them to accomplish what you need them to do, you immediately go to anger and disrespect and then call yourself a great boss. You just have an opportunity. That does not make you a boss or a great one at that. And I feel like there are so many celebrities who are approached by, developers, brands, just all kinds of, the name is escaping me, but you guys know what I'm talking about, where they need to make like it's what happened with Jessica Simpson. There was a company that was doing okay, but they needed the face of a celebrity to really take their brand to the next level. So they joined forces with Jessica Simpson and became Jessica Simpson Shoes or whatever. She's currently fighting them for full custody of the brand, but I don't know if that's going to happen because they brought the brand to her. That happens a lot with celebrities. That's why so many celebrities have hair, care products and makeup lines and, clothing lines. And you're just like, you were never into makeup. You were never into restaurants, Todd. You were never into your hair. So where all of this is coming from? Brands approach them. Developers approach them. People with money who have ideas approach them and say, hey, this is what I have. This is the capital that I'm bringing in. With you, we can take it to the next level. Let's put your face on this makeup brand and let's get this money. Lady Gaga, no shade, right? But that's what happens with a lot of celebrities. And I think that happened with Kenya Moore hair care. And that's great, right? But I feel like a lot of celebrities should just be the face and not get into the running in the everyday of the brand. Because here is the thing. You don't know what you're doing. You need to just give it over to a CEO, somebody who knows what they're doing. And then you have somebody that you trust watching over them. But not everybody is a leader in all aspects. And I just felt like this scene, for me, I was like, she's doing so good. She had a great last season, and she's starting off with a really strong season this season, but that was just not becoming of her. It's like, you know what? You need to get a CEO and just be the face of the brand. That's fine. That's just, like, it's less work for you to do and just more money. I don't understand. But yeah, that wasn't a cute thing for me. Drew's performance with Candace. I'm going into this show with a fresh eye. Thank you, Scotty by Nature. I'm already concerned because where is the story, right? When we saw this performance, Drew was bigging this performance up, like had Candace calling her and everything, and big this whole performance up. And then we get there, and Drew and Candace are on stage. It looked like a rehearsal. Can we be real? It looked like Drew didn't know the words, didn't know what was coming next. She was looking at Candace to figure out, like, did not take her eyes off of Candace. Don't really know what was sung. Can't really hear anything. You invited not only the cast, but the cameras to this performance. And she, like, after the performance, she was just, I'm ready now. I'm ready to go on tour. With what? What's the material? No shade. Do we even know if you could really sing? Because from this performance, this is not a good example, right? So you want to go on tour from that. What made you think that? Because what we got was what the cast got. Because in the confessionals, everybody was just like, oh, this was 30 seconds. We were looking for a full performance. We did not get that. And you want to go on tour with what? Where's the material? And that bothered me because I'm just like, guys, we are on episode 3. If this is what y'all got for me, I'm concerned. I am concerned because this was built up like it was going to be a lot bigger than what it was. And because it was such a bust, the cast had to acknowledge it so that we, the audience, don't get online and be like, now y'all playing in our face because what was this? I'm concerned about the story. And I really hope that this show doesn't go into Drew and Ralph's relationship falling apart. And that's why they're giving us such little story, because there's a bigger story coming up. And the reason why I say that, right? Like, I get that is the meat and the potatoes of what's happening with them. The reason why I say that is because when they do stuff like this, we get so many filler episodes, so much wasted time that by the time we get to the meat and the potatoes, we don't care. We're already so annoyed because you have dragged on these episodes with no story. And then when y'all realize that the audience is getting bored and getting tired and getting restless, y'all throw a mid-season trailer in there. So we can be like, ooh, girl, this is coming up. But it don't be coming up for like 2 more months. I hate when they do this. And I feel like that's what's about to start happening because no shade. I was really excited for Monyetta to be on the show. But when she tried to get into it with Marlo, that fell flat. Like everything was just falling flat. Girl, bye. Girl, no, because Candy's my friend. Yeah, like what was it? There's like no argument. It was like a nonsense argument. It was so much nonsense. Marlo paid the dust and was just like, okay, beautiful. Like that was the funniest part. That Marlo recognized that it was such a non-event, like such a non-argument that even Marlo didn't get activated with that. And I'm concerned. Atlanta, I'm concerned. Even with fresh eyes, I'm concerned. This cast is just not it. I hate to say it. It's just not it. I feel like there's too many alliances, and it's not like people who have a history with each other who are ready to give us a show. I don't feel like that. I feel like it's people who are in life really good friends with other people or people who want to social climb with the more popular people on the show. So they're not really going to go for them aside from Courtney. But every time she comes for Candy, it just falls flat because, excuse me, Miss I'm Not Ghetto, you get real ghetto and aggressive when you're dealing with Candy. Like she always like goes for the jugular with Candy, and it's so weird. I don't know if she's being hyped up by production to tell her to really go after Candy and we get her to the point where her voices break in and all of that stuff. Like I don't know what that is, but it's just so unwarranted. Like that whole conversation. Oh, I'm from the hood. Like I have family who's from the hood, but it looked, the event was ghetto. Like I said, why are you upset? Like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, why did you go from 0 to 100 real quick with Candy? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I think because these are not organic relationships, or even the organic relationships are relationships of some kind of service to the other. So Monyetta is not going to come for Candy, right? And I don't want her to come for Candy, but she's just not going to ever go against her, because not only is it her friend, Candy is also somebody who will keep you booked and busy, which is why Monyetta is on the show. I honestly get it. But I feel like for this show to be successful, we need people who are in positions of power within their own career, that they are not shaken by somebody not liking them. And that is why I felt like the Real Housewives of New York worked so well, right? Because you have Sonia, right, of the Morgan Chase family, right? Then you have the Countess Luann, right? Then you have Ramona Singer, who is, like, say what you want about her, racist, crazy as hell, but she has a lot of connections, right? So these ladies were not afraid. Jill Zarin, right? These ladies were not afraid to get into it with the other, because at the end of the day, they all had their own like communities where they thrived in, and that person could not affect it. And I think because these ladies are all in the same community, and one, bad relationship can affect their success, nobody's moving, which is why I hate to say it, I agreed with Marlo on this episode, because nobody's talking about the shooting, right? Even when Drew tried to bring it up, she said the incident. And Marlo got upset about that because she was just like, it was a shooting. Like, why are we not saying it? Because it's Candy? And I think that's what it is. I think none of the ladies want to get on Candy's bad side, because Candy is somebody that has, power. I'm not saying that somebody's going to make a call and destroy somebody, but let's be real. She's the most famous person on the show, right? And if this show goes away, she will be all right. I can't say that about anybody else on this show. So that is essentially what's happening here. And Marlo's frustration, because I watch what happens live as well with Marlo on it. And basically her frustration is nobody can say anything against her. But she and everybody else can say something about everybody else, right? She can say a lot of stuff about me, but I can't say nothing about her, or it's like a big deal, and or everybody shuts it down, or everybody isolates me. And it's for Marlo, it's just not fair. Now that I agree with her, because that's actually what happened. Drew is also friends with Candy, but she also knows that Candy gives opportunity. So she doesn't want to mess that up. So she's not going to say, oh my goodness, your cousin got shot at the restaurant. Girl, what happened? She won't say that. She'll say, the incident, right? And you knew that it was not something that she wanted to do. It was obvious that production put her up to it because Drew was stuttering the whole time while she was saying it. Couldn't get her thought out because she did not want to bring it up because she knows that Candy does not want to talk about it, right? So Drew's the only one that says something. Then Marlo responds and nobody else says anything. And that's when Marlo got frustrated. She was just like, I'm leaving. She looked right at production and was just like, I'm leaving. Because we're not going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about everybody else's business. But we're not going to talk about something that happened. Now, I absolutely believe Candy when she's just like, it just happened. We really can't go into it because of legal. And them being restaurant owners where her cousin got shot, I believe it. I believe that she cannot talk about it. That does not mean everybody else can't have an opinion. That does not mean the ladies cannot talk about it, because in reality, if somebody in your friends group, right, if somebody that you know got shot at their place, their residence, their job or whatever, everybody talking about it. It's the talk of the group chat. Everybody is having the conversation, whether you like them or not, because it's something that has happened within your community. So everybody's going to have the conversation. And the fact that nobody is talking about it is very bothersome to me as a viewer, and also to Marlo as a cast member, because she's just like, why can't we talk about it? Now, Marlo, where you lost me is that you then made this about your cousin that got shot. It was killed 3 years ago by his roommate, but he used to work at Candy's restaurant. I don't know what happened there. That was a little weird for me. And then you made it about that and got real angry and then was bucking at Drew because your cousin got shot 3 years ago. Not saying that the sting is not still there. I just did not understand what it had to do with this situation. And I feel like that's one of Marlo's biggest issues, is misdirected anger. And it's always at Candy for some reason. I don't know what that is, but it's always directed towards Candy. But that's where she lost me. I was with her, and then she lost me because I just did not understand how that fit in. Now, she could have felt that way, and this might make a bit of sense. She could have felt that way because she then says, and Watch What Happens Live, and then I think she also did an explanation video where she says that Candy knew. Her and Candy talked about her cousin getting shot, and Candy never said anything. She was like, we filmed the scene, and she acted like that was the first time she heard it. But me and her had already talked about it, and instead of her sending her condolences, Candy was like, damn, that's sad. Candy, when I read that text message, I was like, oh, okay, you could have. Can we just be real? If I tell you that one of my family members got shot, I don't want to, damn, that's sad. Like, no, my condolences. Can I pray for you? Like, I think she was expecting a bit more from Candy and did not get that. And I understand. I absolutely understand. And she also said that she wanted Candy to acknowledge her cousin publicly and, at least say that she felt sorry that he lost his life. I get that that's what you wanted, right? Publicly. But Candy doesn't have to do that. And it doesn't look bad on her if she didn't, because 1, he did not lose his life at her job. 2, he was her employee, not a friend. You know what I mean? Yes, the cousin was excited about, working for Candy, but that still does not mean that there was a relationship there that would warrant her to publicly mourn him. That was just a bit weird for me. This whole episode was weird. It just didn't really, it just didn't really work. Like, Sanya was trying to find something with Drew again. And now the whole cast is just over it. Kenya was like, I just need for them to move on. Like, I don't know, Atlanta. I don't know. I think we just got it. And and listen, I haven't been living here for a long time, but I just feel like there are wealthy Black people that are not in the entertainment industry, um, who would be great to be on this show. And if you just want to base it around Candy, that would make sense because she knows everybody. But I think you need to get wealthy Black women on this show who are not afraid to lose anything because they won't, because their community is protected. Their coin, their name is protected. So you can say or do whatever you want to them, and they can say and do anything that they want to you, and they will not be financially affected or affected in their careers. Because with this kind of cast, it's far too many people who are afraid to upset the popular girls. And it's very obvious, and it just doesn't work. That's all I wanted to talk about with this episode. What do you guys think? Asa, thank you for the super chat. Asa said that is Candy's fault. She only berates Todd. Yeah, in protection of her mom. And I get that, because you're always going to go up for your mama. That's your mama, like Candy said. That's my mama. And I get it. I get it. But her mom's just wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong. And then I feel like Mama Joyce puts Candy in a position where if there are issues in her marriage, she just would never talk to her about it, because that's not a safe space, right? So there could be a lot of things going on with your daughter, and she probably really needs her mom, but she can't go to her mom because you have proven to not be safe for her or her relationship that she is trying to probably better or maintain, but she can never get any help or advice from you because you have proven that you hate. Like this is beyond disliking that man. She hates him. Well, you have proven that you hate her partner, who she probably still wants to work the relationship out with. So it's unfortunate. Thank you, Asa, for the super chat. Asa, thank you for another super chat. Said Courtney looks like an annoying Jew. Oh my gosh. I was wondering, I was like, she looks like somebody. I could not put my finger on it because I was thinking of another Black person. She absolutely looks like Juliana Rancic. My God, today. Juliana Rancic, do you know that you had a shot with Bryce from Groove Theory? Did you know that? Ain't that crazy? Ciao. No shade, but I was like, that's your baby daddy? What the hell is... Ciao. And Courtney also said something. She was like, Bryce and I have been in an on and off relationship for 22 years. No. You have been in an on and off relationship with him for 22 years. He was in them streets. He just got back to being faithful because he started losing his hair. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Because if Bryce still looked like the Bryce that we met, girl, and looking like that, no shade. He could have got a lot of people in a 22-year on and off again relationship. I be telling my friends to mind their business. You see them eyebrows? Hey, Phil, thank you for the super chat. Phil said, Real Housewives of Atlanta is A+. Marlo comes from Candy. Marlo comes for Candy. She's wrong. Erica Jane had to talk about legal issues. Nene said the same about Candy. She is protected. Well, listen, I get it. She's the most famous person on the show. And dare I say, the Housewife franchise. Like, who's a bigger star? Who's a bigger star than Candy in the Housewife franchise? And I'm not talking about money. She literally is Miss Worldwide. Like, who's the bigger star? They're not trying to lose that capital. I get it. That's why I could understand Marlo's frustration. She was just like, the incident, that's what set her off. When Drew was like, oh, the incident that happened. Somebody got shot at her restaurant. It ain't no incident. But everybody's afraid to say anything against Candy. And I understand. And I'm not saying that Candy is some kind of mob boss, because I actually don't get that from her. But I think Marlo's right when they say that she is protected. Hey, Sierra. Sierra said, that's why on Watch What Happens Live, Andy was asking Marlo if Candy had an alliance with several people on the cast and told them not to bring stuff up. I think the only alliance she has, and I think it's just more of a friendship, is with Kenya. I think Kandi and Kenya are real friends. Also Monietta as well, but Monietta's a day player. She's not like a full cast member. But I feel like Kenya and Kandi are just not going to go against each other, which is smart. I get that. But I'm like, what the hell is the rest of the cast doing? That's why you have to get women on the show who are not shaken, right? They got the coin, they got the career, they got the, the fame, so there's nothing that you can say. Like, I hate to say it, because I think she would be good, but I think that her and Kandi are really good friends. Monica would be great to be on this show, right? Because Monica gonna say whatever she want, and at the end of the day, it's Monica. She always gonna have a fan base. That's what we need. We need women whose fan bases will not be shaken, whose careers will not be shaken, whose money will not be shaken, so they have the confidence to speak truthfully and get to the point quickly. Because all of this incident, because something had happened. I think it was Kandi. Girl, we know what happened. Why are you afraid to say it? You didn't want to say it. Production told you to say it so you can get a conversation started, and you were afraid. Missy said Courtney is doing three much. Just finding any way to be on camera. Ralph is her cousin, starting with Kandi and bringing Bryce on camera and just being loud and thirsty. I will say her storyline this episode was just discombobulated all over the place. Did not make a lick of sense. Kayla, thank you so much for the super chat. Kayla said Courtney showing up and that 2002 fedora and button-down fit was a violation. Don't do that to Black Juliana Rancic. Don't do that. Thank you, Kayla. Oh, shoot. I saw a comment. I do not live by the airport, but I always hear like a plane. That's so crazy. Who's flying over this area? That's so crazy. I Am Rachel said, baby, I was listening to Carlos King. He spoke the truth about I have to watch that, because here is why. I have heard two very different things about Carlos's rant on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. A lot of people agree with him. A lot of people do not. So I got to hear, like, what did he say? It needs a revamp, a new cast, people that aren't in the limelight. Yeah, I honestly think you can get limelight people or not limelight people, but people who are not afraid to speak against another cast member, because that's just not real life. That's just not real life. Now, they might be afraid to speak about them in front of their faces, but this is a TV show, so we get the things that you say behind their backs. People are afraid to say anything about Kandi behind her back. Kenya as well. And I get why they don't want to come for Kenya, because they can't handle her. I get it, but it's like, get off the show. Hey, Kathy. Kathy said Bryce was in the movie. You just had to bring up Twa. Who saw that but wasn't supposed to be watching that? Them's was the days. Yasmin said Carlos needs to bring his focus to his show. Everything he has said about the Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Atlanta applies to Love and Marriage DC and Love and Marriage Birmingham. I think so. Speaking of Love and Marriage, whatever one Martell is on, this is why the Real Housewives of Atlanta was getting on my nerves concerning story. Not just with this episode, the preview for next week's episode. If they are going to run a storyline that Sheree is possibly pregnant by Martell, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm checking the hell out. Like, no, that lets me know y'all don't have nothing. Y'all don't have nothing. Y'all waiting for Drew and Ralph's relationship to break apart, and that's maybe when I'll tune back in. But until then, I'm out. Because y'all, that lets me know that y'all do not have any story. And if this cast does not have anything interesting to talk about, you're out of here. Like, this is show business, baby. Give us something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Yasmin also said, we know more about Kandi than any other housewife. I don't think she's being protected. I think she's respected. I think that there is some sort of protection, but I think the protection is in the fact that she's a name, guys. She's a celebrity off the show and on the show. And that's just quality stock for Bravo. So I don't think she's going to have it easier, but I don't think that they're not going to go out of their way to make sure that she stays. And Kandi volunteers a lot of information. In my first review of this season, I was just like, girl, you don't got to tell us everything. Some stuff you can stay out of until you have surpassed it and conquered it, and then you can bring it to the audience, right? But she does share a lot. I will give her that. But I think she shares what she wants to share and when she wants to share it. Because even when that new producer, who probably will not be back next season, go and tell her, do we want to talk about why your cousin is sitting here in the sling? And she was like, the look she gave him, like, hold on, newbie. Absolutely not. We're not having that conversation. And the producer was like, oh, okay. In what world are you telling the producer what you're going to talk about on a reality TV show? In what world? Drew can't do that. Saying you can't do that. Kandi can, because she's Kandi. Let me get a couple more. SW Stars Entertainment said, I disagree with Love. I disagree with Love. Oh, that's so sweet. You've been here a long time. I don't think you're coming for me. You don't got to do that. Kandi has had people come at her hard or even make up a dangerous lie. That could have ruined her life. And Portia was able to stay on for more seasons and become a fan favorite. I will say, again, I absolutely agree with that. Like I said, I don't think that she's protected. I just think that there's a hierarchy, right? And with these shows, you have to have a draw, right? Back in the day, these shows were able to work. Let's talk about it. Back in the day, child, I hate my bar chairs. I got to get better ones. I got these from IKEA. If you know any good deals on bar chairs, let me know. Back in the day, these shows came about because of a freaking writer's strike. So basically, the networks are just like, we can't do anything because basically all of our shows are scripted. They were able to find a loophole with reality TV, scripted reality TV, where the people that they hire on the show basically write their dialogue, improvise. Let me tell you something, reality TV people. This is why you need to become a union, because you are basically a writer, a producer, and a performer, and you're only getting paid for one position, and you're not getting paid a lot because you're not union. Y'all better wake the hell up. Anyway, so these shows were able to come about because of that. So they were looking for people who had, some kind of affluence, right? Some kind of notoriety. Because Andy, he talks about this on one of his interviews, he was inspired by the Desperate Housewives. That was one of his favorite shows. And because of the writer's strike, there were no more episodes of that. So Andy decided to fill the void from the Desperate Housewife fan base, fill that void and give them unscripted, but kind of scripted, a Desperate Housewife show. The draw of that was affluence, right? But that can only go but for so long. You need to legitimize your show, which is why a show like The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kathy Hilton is a huge draw because she legitimizes the show. So when you get somebody like Kandi, who people will watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? But now people who know Kandi want to watch Kandi on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have to be honest here. The Real Housewives of Atlanta was a great show. Kandi upped their stock. That's just the truth, because she's a celebrity and she legitimizes a show that, let's be real, in the entertainment industry is not a legitimate space. Reality TV is looked down upon. They are the bastard stepchildren, the redheaded stepkids of the entertainment industry. You don't really legitimize them. But when you get a celebrity, right? Somebody who, what's the weather? Somebody who's worked in scripted and unscripted, somebody who has received legitimate awards. And, when you have somebody like that, it just ups your stock. So again, it's going to rain. So again, I don't think that she's protected, but I think that the show's going to fight a lot harder to keep her than they are going to fight to keep Drew. And that's just show business, to be quite honest with you. That is just show business. I'm going to get a few more, and then we're going to get into pump rules, because I feel like it's about to start raining hard, and this rain ain't no joke. And I do not want these lights to be by this window when that starts. NC said, speaking of Mama Joyce, remember when she called Todd's mama? Whew. I think that was after she passed. She was out of control, and Kandi has never put her in her place. I will say, God bless and God rest Todd's mother's soul. She was the water for Mama Joyce's fire. She was the water for Mama Joyce's fire. Mama Joyce couldn't say nothing without Todd's mom being like, excuse me, speak up. Like, that was iconic TV. When those two would go at it, whoo, baby. Atkinson said, I think Kandi's time has come. She needs to go and bring on someone new. How many more Joyce versus Todd opening a new business can we stand? I will say this. I think just like with Teresa, I think Kandi should move on. And I think she needs to move on to a family show. I think she has it. I think she keeps on trying to put people on, no shade, who are not camera ready, who are not ready to build a show, be on a show, lead a show. I think she needs to do the shows where she's the star and everybody else can come in and be supporting characters. That might work best for her. So it would be smart for her to have her family show as well, just like Teresa. I don't know why that doesn't happen. Instead of doing a legacy show, do a graduation and graduate these women to a show that makes more sense for them. Nor TV said, but if Kandi's a star, why would she let them come for her neck so much? Because she's also a great producer. She knows how to produce the hell out of the show. You got to give her that. She can write and she can produce. She can write and she can produce. Acosta said, I agree, but those people were already somebody. It's not like they went from no one to someone on the Real because of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Absolutely. They were someone in their communities. They were no one to the global world, right? They were not being, let's be honest here. People in Sweden know about Nene because of Bravo. But you knew about Nene in Atlanta. And that's the big draw for a lot of people. That's what people are just like, I can't believe all these rich people want to come on this show. Fame is a hell of a drug. She got 2 kids. Z said, I don't like talking about anyone's mother, but Mama Joyce would have been told off by now if she was my mother-in-law. Listen, say what you want about Todd, but he'd be taking them licks from that woman. My God, today. My God, today. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Teresa. You know how I know? I found out when I go on my walks. So when I walk around my neighborhood, I try not to walk too far because I know at any given time, there will be a random storm on her neck. Do you remember the episode where Kandi had to pull to a park and they was about to start throwing? They was about to start throwing elderly hands. I was like, what is happening? Oh, I missed that lady. She said, who you talking about? Not my son. I was like, I know that's right. I know that's right. You know what? I should absolutely look up Wayfair. Thank you, Jasmine. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Yasmin said, I think Candy deserves a family show. Like, don't be tardy. Absolutely. If anybody deserved a family show, it was Candy, not Kim. Not Kim, who, let's be real, I know, the fan base is not a fan of her. But I need to know what's going on. Bring back Kim and Clan Croy so we can find out what's going on. So Steph, you're being messy. So Steph, you're being messy. Absolutely not. Y'all are so messy. Iconic. That was iconic TV. Iconic. She was like, who you talk? My son? Candy was like, come on. I'm so sorry, Candy. Candy was like, Mom, come on now. That was TV. Let's get into Pump Rules. Even though they getting evicted, ciao. Hey, Sebastian, missed you too. Sippy Simone said they better be in Kim because that divorce. See, Simply Simone is producing. She knows what's up. She knows what's up. We need to know what's going on. How did y'all get here? And then allegedly she is selling used wigs on Etsy. Child, I need to hear Kenya report on this. That's what I need. OMG. Anyway, let's move on to Pump Rules. This is so messy. This is the thing. Pump Rules has been a messy show. This is like, you can't even fathom this kind of mess from this show. And it's a messy show. I recently saw on Twitter, some girl had tweeted, she was just like, I don't know how people can watch Vanderpump Rules because nobody on the show is likable. And I was like, that's the point. There's no hero on this show. Ariana just was able to become a hero for this show, but this show has never had a hero. The premise of this show was that everybody is awful. Everybody is awful. That's why you tuned in to just watch awful LA people. Like, you were never rooting for anybody, but now we're rooting for Ariana. Where do we begin? I have so many notes on this one. Here's the thing. I was watching this episode and I was just like, there was so much rage in me. Because this is the thing. This is what bothered me about this, right? Let's start off with Raquel, who I am not a doctor, right? But I think something is up with her. And if you have been watching my Pump Rules reviews from 2015, you know I've been saying that something is up with that girl. She is off. There is a delay. I'm not saying that she don't know what she's doing. I'm saying that the lights are on, but ain't nobody been home for years. Something is up. This is not even dumb, right? It's something is missing. I feel like even though she's damn near 30, I still think her brain is not fully developed. Something is going on with her, and that is not a read. It's just like there's like nothing going on behind her eyes. I've been saying that. So I am not shocked that she would do something like this. Here is why. There is a scene like and earlier in this episode where Lala is talking to Raquel and she's like, oh, you trying to date Tom is just not a good look, with Katie. Like, that's why Katie doesn't want to be bothered with you, because Raquel cannot understand why Katie did not want to be bothered with her. But Lala is just like, well, you're trying to date her current husband. Like, she still hasn't divorced this man and you're trying to date him. And she knows you, has a relationship with you. And you also know her and have a relationship with Tom. So you've seen this marriage. So it's just a little weird for her. And Lala was just like, I would not trust you around my man that I would have, because even though we're friends, you will probably try to date him. And Raquel looked her dead in the eye and was just like, well, isn't it great that you don't have a man? And was dead serious. She was dead serious. She wasn't like offended. She was like, isn't it great that you don't have a man? Girl, what? That's something that, like, when you're not fully there, that's what you say. That's what you, because even Lola was like, why would you say that? But something is going on. And is it sociopath? It gotta be. Because she gives me American Psycho, but if American Psycho was in a 12-year-old Girl Scout body, you know what I mean? Hold on, I think it's sociopath. A mental health disorder characterized by disregard for other people. That's what it is. And I'm not a doctor, but that's what I think is going on. She don't care about nobody else, because we've only seen her cry or react when something has happened to her. She does not cry or react when she does stuff to other people. The fact that she was sitting there talking to Ariana, asking her about her relationship with Tom, knowing that man is knocking the sonic rings out of her head, I was like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. She sat there with Ariana and was just like, well, how are you and Tom doing? Yeah, like, do you love him? Yeah. Yeah, are you guys having sex? You know they're not having sex with you banging her man and you're Toyota Cesar. Like, what are you talking about? But she does not care. If it doesn't happen to her, she can't feel anything. I think that's what it is. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like I'm reading this correctly. Who knows? But that's like, there's something not right with her, because I was watching her. I've been watching her from the beginning. I dropped out like 2 or 3 seasons ago when, like, what's her name? Stassi was pulling that Hitler Barbie stuff and everybody thought it was cute. And I was just like, what is the joke in that? I didn't get it. And then that stuff they did with Faith, I was out. But I've come back now. The affair brought me here. But even then, watching this show and just how she does things, there is something not right with Raquel. And everybody in this show is performing with her like you are performing with someone who has the same mental capacity that you do. And I don't think that she has it. I really, really don't. We've only seen her react to anything that has happened to her. When she cried about having sex with Tom, I'm gonna be all over the place with this. Buckle up. Buckle up. She was in her confessional. In her confessional. And the producer said to her, so what was it like being intimate with Tom? This is what this demon did. It was just so nice and felt so good to, like, have sex with someone that, like, I loved, and that, like, loved me. Crazy. Why? Like, you are filming a TV show. There's a camera in front of you. The producer has just asked you, what was it like having sex with one of your really good friends? What is it? Common law husband. And you start cheesing. She was also getting flashbacks on camera. But a sensible hoe, right? A sensible side chick would be like, I was drunk. You know what I mean? I was under the influence. I was high on black tar heroin. I didn't know what I was doing, even if she did, right? Because you know that this is going out to the world. So you know about public opinion. So you want to play victim. She's not playing victim. She was excited. She was smiling. She was getting flashbacks. Crazy. That girl is not well. That girl is not well. And this is not a read. This is not shade. I'm telling you what I see. Something is off. And they've been on this show acting with her. And I'm like, y'all don't realize that something is off? Because let me tell you something. I've always been this person. I have always been this person at any job. Let me tell you something. The first person I befriend is that off coworker. You not killing me? Absolutely not. I befriend that person. You got to find them. But you'll find them really easily. You normally find them in a break room sitting by themselves, right? Staring out in the out space. That's where you find them. And you say, hey, Charles, how are you? Oh, what is that? A PB&J? My favorite. I hate it. But that's how you got to play with them, right? So you just let them know that I talked to you. Remember that, Charles. I had a conversation with you, right? We talked about anime. I don't watch no anime aside from Bleach, but I'm going to have that conversation with Charles because I know there's something not right. Something not right. And his job is so freaking cheap. They still gonna hire him because at least he can sit in front of a computer and enter data into a computer. But they know that something is off with Charles. That's why they don't put him at the main hub. They put him at the hub in the hood. They don't put him at the one where all the bosses are at. They put him in a call center where everybody else at that they don't feel like getting killed. I'm going on a tangent. But what I'm saying is, I cannot believe that all of those people worked with that woman on this show for almost a decade, and nobody said something not right about that girl. Y'all done call her a whore. Y'all done call her dumb, but ain't nobody, just touch what's going on there. Because everybody on that show cheat. Everybody on that show does awful things, but they recognize it. They apologize. And even if they don't apologize, they still acknowledge their behavior and what they did was wrong. Raquel does not do that. She does not think that anything that she has done is wrong. But she knows when somebody wrongs her. And it's not the fact that she's sinister. I think that is just how her mind operates, like a sociopath. I think I got it. Anyway, let's get into this episode. Let's get into this episode. Was y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Something up with that girl. Let's talk about the Lalas in every friend group. To be a Lala is such a tough position to be in, right? Because you are that friend that sees everything from afar. Like, you are that friend that sees things like a decade before it even happens. You are the prophet of the friend group, right? But as you know, nobody wants to listen to a prophet. Nobody wants to hear them, especially if you're not saying anything good. Nobody wants to listen to you. Shut you up, they crucify you. They tell you what you're saying is a lie. Look at me acting like I know. But am I Jesus? But that's normally what that position is, right? So you have learned, if you're the Lala in your friend group, you have learned to just shut up. You have learned to just shut up, don't say anything, be there for your friend and give them enough advice that they do not go back to that terrible and toxic situation, right? Lala been seeing this from jump. She saw it so clear, she thought that she was going crazy. She saw it so clear, she thought that she was going crazy. That's why she was talking to every and anybody who would listen, because she wanted somebody to tell her that what she was seeing was not true. Poor thing saw it so clearly. She was just like, wait a minute. Tom told you that he went home. He didn't go home. He was hanging out at my pool party with Raquel. And Arian's just like, oh, I don't want it to make it a big deal. But Lala is sitting there like, hold on. Well, if he didn't. And she said, oh, somebody cheating. Now, she also knows the game because she is the game. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Lala has gotten a rebrand on this show, but let's tell the truth and shame the devil. She is the game. She knows what this is. So poor thing, saw from afar. Nobody wanted to hear her, especially Ariana, who I think knew that something was up, but I think she was more comfortable turning a blind eye. But then it got to a point where she had to address what was happening. And she knew that if she addressed it, she would have to end it. Because that's another thing, being in a terrible situation with a terrible man that you love, right? And everybody knows about it, is that you're going to have to make a decision you would not make had it happen in private. because I think she still would have stayed. But you got this TV show and you got everybody in your business. Good for her. But I really felt bad for her because I feel like she knew what it was, but did not want to acknowledge it because then her whole life would change just like that. And it did. 10 years down the drain. Like a lot of people would just rather stay and make it work, especially if they have put so much time in, than to get out and face a world unknown to you. Right? Especially if you've crafted this life and they have crafted their life together. They've also intertwined their businesses together. So I'm not mad at her if she would have made a different decision. But thank God the world was in her business. So she had to make a decision that will please everyone. Because, at the end of the day, this was a good decision for you. But I get it, Ariana. I absolutely get it. Tom is a terrible human being. Damn it, I'm never going to that restaurant again. How about that, Tom? There you go. There you go. I was destined to continue to go to that restaurant because I love the ambiance. It's right around from the theater that I perform at, and I love the freaking cheese balls. But you know what? I'm not going back now because you're so freaking horrible. You are so horrible. The last 2 episodes, and I think he's going to try to pull that crap at the reunion. He's been like, oh, I wanted to break up with her, but she threatened to kill herself. He keeps on throwing that out. How dare you throw her mental health like in her face as like a way to justify you treating her terribly? Which, because of the way Tom lies, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, right? Because Tom is talking to Swartz. Can we talk? Wait a minute. Let's put a pin in Tom. Let's talk about Swartz. Swartz was like, I don't give a damn about what is going on. Fix this for my restaurant, please. Swartz went to Tom and he went to Ariana and he was just like, oh, what has happened has sucked. Can we please say something to get the restaurant in the clear? Swartz didn't care about nobody else but his damn self. He was so obviously selfish. Listen, I don't know how much he put into that restaurant, but obviously he put in a lot because when Tom, his buddy, his bestie in hell, when he came over to talk to him about Ariana, Tom Sandoval grabbed him and started all that crying, and Swartz was like, this is bad for the restaurant. Tom is crying, body shaking. Swartz is like, the investors are mad. Excuse me? He did not care. Swartz was like, fix this. Get me out of this mess. Fix this situation now. Unfortunately, Swartz, this situation is beyond you. Maybe if you just make it Swartz and no longer Sandy, I'll go back. But your partner is terrible. Tom, you are not a business owner because you could have handled this so differently. You could have just been like, I'm the bad guy. I loved her. I didn't want to leave her because we had so much into this relationship, but I just wasn't happy. And I didn't know how to tell her that I wasn't happy because I still loved her. Like he just could have done it so differently. But to try to make Ariana the bad guy, it's not a smart thing to do. And how you just still have yet to pick up on that because he's still doing interviews making her the bad guy. Like he's still doing it. I just thought about a scene that made me scream from the bottom of my belly. I forgot about this. When Tom Sandoval, when he went over to Raquel's home, let's talk about that for a second. So after Tom realizes he's not getting the care, the sympathy that he has wanted from the friend group, he goes over to Raquel's. As soon as Raquel opens the door, they start cheesing. Excuse me? Like smiling, they giddy. They were about to kiss, but realized they were on camera. Absolutely not. It was not one time. It wasn't just in the back of your car. Y'all have been begging for years, it seems like. It was like a newlywed couple. Then they were hugged up on her little IKEA couch. No shade to IKEA. Is this IKEA? No, that's not IKEA. But I got an IKEA bar chair, so that's no shade. But I'm just like, I said that because IKEAs are normally medium couches, so those two grown people are hugged up on that couch. I couldn't believe it. And did you see how Tom's dog, how Raquel's dog reacted to him? Because he's been over there before. That dog went up to Tom and was like, "Welcome home. Welcome home." He's been with this woman for a very long time. A very long time. And so they were over there having a conversation about their relationship and about, everything falling apart and what they're going to do. I'm like, what are you going to do? You've already done it. You two are in a relationship. Word on the street is that Raquel is pregnant and she's hiding that pregnancy. I would not be shocked, because this is the thing. This is how Tom is going to rebrand himself. If Raquel gets pregnant, it's an easy rebrand for him. And Raquel is enough to do it for him. Oh my gosh, you're going to have a baby with a sociopath. Yikes. Woo! You better get full custody. Anyway, so I've always said that I think that is going to be his rebrand. I think that when Raquel comes up pregnant, he is going to use that to his advantage to get sympathy from the audience. And everybody's just like, "Oh, we won't give it." You are easily going to give it to him. Why? Because society hates childless women, or women who choose to not have children. And that is basically what the choice that Ariana made, right? So he's going to say, "I could not tell her, but the reason why I cheated on Ariana was because Raquel and I had a conversation about our life. And I looked in my future and I did not see myself with children. And I broke down and cried, dude. I broke down and cried because that's what I always wanted." And Raquel looked at me, grabbed one of my bangs, pulled me in and kissed me and said, "I'll give you a future. I'll give you a family." And all the little pro-choice heifers are going to be like, "Oh my God, he wanted kids and she didn't want to give him a family. Oh my, I understand why he did it now." And that is going to be his rebrand. That's why can't nobody find that girl. That's why can't nobody find Raquel. She probably pregnant. Oh my God. I will be tuned in to season 11 if that woman is pregnant. I'm telling you that right now. I'm going to be tuned in. But that's going to be his rebrand. I absolutely think that that's what they're going to do. And it's going to work in his favor. It's going to work in his favor. And the audience is going to turn on Ariana. So that's why I was just like, Ariana, take every opportunity that is coming to you right now. Because when that man shows up with the baby, the audience that once praised you is going to turn on you. Poor thing. Poor thing. Speaking about Ariana, let's talk about when she sat down with Tom, right? Again, he tried to blame her. He tried to make him cheating be her fault. And all I want to say is I felt so bad for her. And like I've always felt so bad for her in this entire situation. But when she looked that man in his eye and she said, "I would have followed you anywhere. I would have followed you anywhere. I wanted to get my eggs frozen and create embryos with you because that's what you wanted." It wasn't what she wanted, but that's what he wanted. And she wanted to give it to him. That's how much she loved him, that she would deny what she wanted and what she saw for her future so that she could please him. And she said, "All you had to do was tell me." He was like, "Well, you threatened to kill yourself." And she sat there quiet. Why? Because he was obviously using issues that she has spoken about against her. And I think in that moment, she realized that the man that she loved was no longer there. And so she wrapped him up real quick. Shout out to her girlfriend, because her friend was there and she was just like, "I'm just going to step away." Because it was about to get intense. It was about to get intense. But I'm glad that she gave him all of her rage. I'm glad that she read him for filth. I'm glad that she never uplifted him once, because he deserved all of that and more. And I'm glad that nobody, not even Schwartz, gave Tom the sympathy that he was looking for, because Sandoval did not deserve it. I'm glad that Lisa, and I know he ran over Lisa and did all that crying and all that performing, body shaking, travailing, all that screaming. Lisa was like, "Okay, Tom." She was like, "Tom, enough, Tom." Because he was like screaming in this woman's house. But you, Vanderpump Rules, you watched it with me. He was doing all that screaming in that woman's house. And Lisa was like, "Oh, okay. All right, Tom, that's enough." You have to, these are the consequences. You got to watch it. These are the consequences of your actions. And she was not going to validate him in any kind of way.
No,
let's end here. The one person who has had the best rebrand on this show to date, Sheena. When Sheena sat down with Tom, she was just like, I invited him here because our friendship is done. She was like, I'm crying because I'm mourning my friendship. He was the first person in this group that made me feel like I belonged, but I can no longer be friends to him because of what he has done. The way she read Tom in love and then severed that relationship and told him to see his way out. Sheena, nobody cares that you broke up a happy home. Allegedly a happy home. Like she just fully rebranded herself, in my opinion, in that moment. In that moment, she was just like, we're done. She said, I can't be friends with you. And I wanted to tell you to your face that we are not friends. I can't be friends with you because of this. Because Tom was giving her every excuse about why he wouldn't, about why he cheated. And she was just like, you could have just told her. And he was like, well, she threatened to kill herself. And she was just like, well, you could have just told us what you were going to do so that when you did it, her community could have been there to restore her and hold her up so that she doesn't make the decision that you are claiming that she was going to make.
That somebody's going to kill themselves over here?
A man.
No, honey.
Child.
No, you have gone too far.
Sheena, in that moment, full rebrand. Good for her. Good for her. A full rebrand.
No, she was
and let me tell you something.
Please.
Sheena, I don't believe the story that you just pushed Raquel. You beat her up. But I'm going to let it slide because you being a good friend. I'm going to let that assault slide. Obviously, you couldn't have punched her. But you probably... because this cast likes to smack people. So you probably got her together and then caught yourself and was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to prison. So I'll allow it, sis. I'll let you beat her up. I'll allow it. That's what a good friend is supposed to do. The last thing I want to say about this show, bravo. Pump rules. We do not need to bring back the people that we got rid of because they were annoying and terrible. Jax, Brittany, Kristen, whatever her name is, Hitler Barbie, none of them are going to further the story next season. We do not need them. Kristen came in for 2 seconds and I was like, why is she here? It didn't help the story in any kind of way. Y'all got Jax and Brittany reviewing the show on Peacock, dry, dull, delayed, and boring. They are not adding any value to the show. Let it go. You are already getting damn near 2 million views on these shows because of Ariana alone. And Sheena. That's all you need. That's all you need. Do not try to rebrand them people and bring them back. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Sheena. Shout out to Vanderpump Rules because we're back. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it.
What about,
you know what? Can I have some, please? Put me on a little softer.
Well. Oh, you are letting me have it today.
I am. I'm getting you together.
Oh, yeah. So is Kim Zodiac coming back? I know we already discussed
No, they don't want her to come back to Atlanta.
Good.
Nas B said, the way I knew absolutely nothing about Vanderpump Rules till Scandal broke. Now, thank you, Mom. I need a fork. Now, strictly through Instagram stories and memes from Bravo, Vanderpump Rules related account, I am now in it. I'm ready to give Scandal a Scandal one-on-one class. It's a mess. It's a mess. At the end of the day, no shade. It brings in the viewers. So, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Tom, myself included, but you got to bring him back next season. You got to see it through. You got to see it through.
Eat that on there.
I can't eat. Oh my goodness. It's giving almond, Mom. I Am Rachel said, correction. Katie and Tom have been 7 months post-divorce. She was saying on the last episode that she was still married to him, though. Even her mom was like, she hadn't signed any papers yet. That's what her mom was saying.
But that's the divorce that never ends.
Oh, you.
Okay. My God, today the man don't want to let him go.
Well, listen, that's the thing. She didn't want to let him go. She even told in one of her confessionals, she was just like, I think he loved me. He just didn't like me. And she was right.
Well, the whole thing in the nutshell is he's messing around with somebody else, and he, you know,
Mom, who are you talking about? You have never seen this show.
He's hanging on because she's about to kill herself.
You're mixing up times. Excuse me, girl. Teresa said you can see too much white in her eye. You can't trust it. Shanice on Summerhouse MV has the same look in her eyes. You think? I got to see more Shanice. Yasmin said Charlie just did her first pro season interview and she has known Raquel since they were 15. What she says about Raquel being a low rank pageant girl and that's forming her personality is spot on. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I am Rachel. Absolutely. It's given single white female. It's given single. How you gonna give that woman advice on her relationship when you're sleeping with her man? Sick behavior. Sick behavior. Sick behavior. Al Atkinson says, yes, sociopath. They have no remorse for anything they do. Raquel has zero remorse for cheating with her best friend's man. Like she does not care. She does not care. It's insane. It's insane. Give me shelter said Rachel is a strange bird, but Lala, Sheena, and the X-Cast talking like they weren't her a few years ago is laughable. Ariana's grace ran out 2 weeks ago with me. Oh, why? Sorry, family be cussing people out. Empathy said, that's the body language I was talking about. It was so odd, so bizarre. Who does that? Are you talking about Raquel talking about sleeping with Tom and getting flashbacks? Give me shelter said, I feel like Rachel is confused. She's a fan of the show and watched the crew catapulted into the limelight due to their behavior. I think she didn't realize there would be this level of blowback. Quite possibly. L. Atkinson said, can you imagine if Lala made it to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Lala versus Erica Jane. See, this is the thing about Lala. She wouldn't go for any of them. She wouldn't go for any of them. She would be Drew on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She would go for the new girl who nobody knows about. She would not go for Erica. She would not. Why? Because she wants something from them. And that is their notoriety, their relationships, their community. She wouldn't do that. Especially now that she's a single mom. Girl, that documentary about Randall, Lala got a lot going on. L. Atkinson also said, I never understood Lala dragging Raquel so much. Girl, you was a whole mistress and got pregnant by the creep. You legit broke up a family. Pot, meat, kettle. I'm telling you, that's why she knew the game. She knew the game. She was putting two and two together and she was like, hold up, wait a minute. I know this. Greta said, who does she sound like? Cough, Marla. Who we talk about? Rachel.
You just couldn't watch me eat that.
Girl, because the way he was eating it, I knew it was delicious. Aoife Empathy said, Ariana has said that she thought that Tom was just having a midlife crisis and she wasn't completely wrong or off. This is the thing. I'm not sure if Tom was having a midlife crisis or if he was just using that because he knew that that's something that he could get sympathy from, right? Because he kept on saying, I turned 40 and I saw my life. I was turning 40 and I saw my life, but you were well in your 30s when you cheated those two other times, right? So how is this any different? I think he was just throwing out stuff out there that would get him sympathy. Like he turned 40 and Ariana's mental health problems. Like he'll find anything else. I'm telling you, he's going to use this baby to his benefit. If there is one. Teresa said he was trying to scramble her eggs. I don't believe him. Simply Simone said, y'all saw that video of him at LAX? He leaving the country before the reunion. He needs to. He needs to. Because it's not going to be good for him. It's not going to be good for him. Thank you, Sierra. Sierra said, Nikki, you are one of the greatest comedians of our time. I'll take it.
Oh.
I'll take it. Nas B said Nikki boycotting the restaurant might hurt Ariana too, since apparently their co-owned home was also put up. Okay. Don't have to convince me to get them cheese balls. Shauna K said, to be honest, I understand Candy not talking about the incident. If you wanted a follow-up, should have renewed my show. Period.
That's right.
Because they have to talk about it on that show.
What?
Her cousin that got shot.
Who? You always say that.
I just can't believe he got shot at her. That's so crazy. And that's the restaurant we was trying to go to. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that shocked me. L. Atkinson said, OMG, if Raquel is pregnant, Vanderpump Rules will absolutely have another season. Oh, let me tell you something. The views that they're getting, I would not be surprised if Bravo locks them into a 3-year deal. I will not be surprised.
But then her restaurant closed down.
Who? Oh, yeah, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Yasmin said that restaurant is going to fail. Jack said on Saturday at 10 p.m. that he was there with Sports and there was maybe like 5 people in there.
Where they gonna film it?
I will say, the theater that I work at, they have shows like after 11, and people pretty much go there. So it probably was a dead time. When I was there, it was packed, and I had a good time. Zena said, Ariana ate him up. You're worth nothing, and I want you to feel that in your soul. Yes. Oh, can we talk about how she told Swart? She was just like, anything that's connected to him, I want nothing to do with. So me and you are no longer friends. Listen, Ariana and Sheena, they did the damn thing. They did like that is how, as an adult, you end relationships. They snip. She said, I want to be very clear with you. You're still friends with him. I'm not going to be connected to nothing that's associated with that man. So we're done. Period. I loved it. L. Atkinson said, unfortunately, a reading person like Tom is like reading a brick wall. Sandoval doesn't care and isn't affected. True. She Simply Simone. That rebrand is crazy. I was applauding her. I felt so bad for her though, because you knew it was a real friendship. Her body was shaking when she was talking to him. And then she was breaking down when she walked away from him. She was like, see yourself out because I can't do this anymore. Oh, she did so good. Tracy said she'd have had on no makeup. I know that was a real feeling. She did so good. She was. Zena said and saved her season because Sheena was a villain this season. Girl, what? I'm sorry, we're losing it over here. Give Me Shelter said, I am here for all the drama, but the way the world stopped for this white woman's bad breakup is an eye-opener. Ariana, like Lala, got their cosmic retribution. They'll be fine. Whiteness will have no other way. Is it whiteness or is it just this awful show that was just dry? Finally had something we could all talk about. I think what happened was the people who were watching the show from the beginning tuned out and then checked back in because we have to be real here. Ariana and Sandoval were like in game. Everybody loved them. That was like the one relationship that everybody thought will last. Like nobody expected this. And then nobody expected for him to cheat and to cheat with Raquel. That was too much. Like everybody had to tune in to see this play out. Naya said, I'm late, but yes, Sheena, stand 10 toes down for your friend. Yep. She was. I was so proud of her. All these people are over 40. They better show some growth. Girl, this is LA. Growth where? Growth where? Oh, really? Yasmin said Sheena had to do that scene with him because no one else was filming with him, but she ate it up. Child, this is the thing. I hope at this reunion that Lala lets Ariana speak. Like, I don't want her to be like on her. You know how she is. Lala, girl. Do you know we watched your previous seasons? Girl, I just hope that she doesn't go in on Sandoval so hard that Ariana can't speak and get that man together a second time. It's okay, Spency. We got one more show to go, which is why I pushed my next live to 3. I knew. Yeah. Like even if they don't like Ariana, I don't care. I just feel like they will not move the show forward. Like they were building up Kristen returning, and all she did was like burn some stuff in a rock cave with Ariana or rock fireplace with Ariana. I'm like, there was no need for her to be here. And can we just be real? Like, I feel like Kristen is in a different phase of her life. No shade, she was giving me Housewife. Like Housewives, like I feel like she would be good on the Real Housewives of OC. I don't think that she's still in the young, crazy mess anymore. Well, good for her. I don't know if she's married or has children or anything, but it was given soccer mom. I feel like she's just in a different season of her life. I don't think that she's like an LA girl anymore. And that's what this show is based off of. Tia Bia said, yes, Bravo thinks because it's been a few years, we're going to forget them. We're going to forget them racist. Yeah, absolutely not. Oh, Elise, that's what she calls herself. That's what she calls herself. That's what I checked out. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to laugh and chuckle with this. What's funny about that? No. She was, but I feel like she has evolved from this show. And I could be wrong, but how she came in was not the normal Kristen. I think she also probably stopped drinking. And if she's going to be on the show, she's going to have to drink. And I think that that's just not a healthy environment for her. But I was just like, did you come from dropping off your kids at karate? Like, girl, where are you coming from? Missy said, I never watched the show, but I feel like I would be disappointed if I did because the way Nikki does. Thank you. Spency said, hey, Nikki, Mama Sora and fam, late, but I'm glad I'm here. I was trying to support the, thank you. Thank you. Please support the writers and the actors next month. Nasby said, a VPR exec said they paused contract negotiations because they want the cast to see all of the reunion because some revelations from it are shocking. They want the cast to know before they decide to return. At the end of, they should have just did the contract negotiations because here's why. It would have been smart for y'all to do the contract negotiations before the reunion because everybody's going to return. This is their job. What are these people going to do outside of Vanderpump Rules? Let's be real. They were all going to come back. Now, Ariana's agent has been watching this show. Ariana's agent and lawyers are watching the views of every episode. Now, if the episodes are giving us 2 million views, what you think the reunion gonna do? Y'all would have been better off offering Ariana a light bump before the reunions because now y'all gotta give her whatever she asked for. Y'all gotta pay her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills money. Get your coins, Ariana. Simply said, let's remember Tom paid for James and Rachel's engagement at Coachella, so he's reacting to his close friend cheating with his ex-fiance. Yeah, he was like, James really considered Sandoval to be a big brother to him. Oh, there's basically a Surviving Randall documentary coming out, and that's Lala's baby daddy. Sierra said maybe LVP did put them up to cheating because that's what made the show interesting to people in the first place. I will say the way Lisa was crying, I don't think she's behind this. I don't think she's behind this. Spency says, speaking of documentaries, what happened to Freaknik lawyers? People threatening to sue. It may still happen. But people might be checking to be like, am I in this? Take me out. I did not give consent. Give Me Shelter said the way Erica Jane would grab Lori from Utah by the scruff of her neck and son her, I would love to see it. It would never happen. Y'all would think that Lala was going to go in there and get them together. Lala only gets women together that she thinks is beneath her. She would never get together a Kyle. She would never get together a Erica Jane. That's not going to happen. She would go on that show and fall in line. Sierra said Vanderpump Rules getting more views than Real Housewives of Atlanta did on their last 2 seasons. A little adultery really raises some ratings. Yeah. And also, people cannot believe who's cheating with who. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. 3 more, we'll move on and end with Summerhouse. Nas B said apparently multiple people, including Ari, got Tom and Rachel together. Ariana says she found out some stuff after the reunion that she wished she knew before so she can confront him about it at the time. I think at the end of the day, it's just completely obvious that he has been cheating with Raquel for a very long time. They say 7 months. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2 years. I would not be surprised because the only way they got caught is because Ariana found his, Tom was performing and his phone fell out. And when she went to go pick up his phone, I guess Raquel sent him a picture or something of them on FaceTime. Now, it wasn't even like an inappropriate picture, right? It wasn't even, them having sex or anything or her sending a sexy picture of herself. It was literally the both of them on FaceTime. He's in love with her, y'all. That man was so in love with that woman that he took a screenshot of their FaceTime because he wanted to remember that moment. He's gone. Gone. Y'all mean to tell me this was just 7 months and they had sex a few times? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It probably was his idea to move her into their home. Sick. You moved your mistress into your home. Whoo! Gossip and Grigio said, just started watching the show. Is it true that he cheated on his last girlfriend with Ariana? If so, Ariana is Ariana allowed to be surprised? Listen, they say how you got him is how you lose him, right? I will say the ex-girlfriend who was Kristen, she said that she was not mad at Ariana after, she got sober. She was not mad at Ariana because she was just like, me and Tom should not have been together. Like the last year of our relationship was a toxic year. We were always fighting. We were both sleeping and cheating on, sleeping with other people and cheating on each other. So she didn't even really count it because she was just like, we were in a relationship. We pretty much just stayed together because we had an apartment together. And if you do not live out here in LA, you do not understand that. But let me tell you something. People get married for housing. People stay in relationships for a roof over their head. I know somebody today. She liked her husband. She don't love him. But they were roommates and he was paying the majority of the rent. So she married him. That's very LA. That's very LA. She doesn't watch this, so she'll be fine. Elise said, shows y'all how young I am. I had no idea that she said that. I only knew about the faith stuff. It's fine. IA said, yep, let's talk about Lala. Does she know that? Okay. Also, she knows who she can disrespect. She's used to the Utah crowd. Yeah, she will only get like young girls who are fawning over her together. She's not getting no Erica Jane together. Absolutely not. Yasmin said, Nikki, it was a screen recording from, oh, wait, Ariana didn't say that. It was a screen recording from them touching themselves? Tom, at your big age, you doing this at your big age? Men are just, the horniness will always get them in the end. Give Me Shelter said, I think that Tom is in love with Raquel too. The way he looks at that empty-headed girl. How didn't any of them see it? Yep. We're going to end with Teresa and get into Summerhouse. Teresa said he's cheated on Ariana before. It's that it was so close to home. Yeah. And the girl that he cheated with was giving her advice on how to keep him. Tracy said, OMG, the last episode when Raquel was asking Eric, about their relationship as if they wasn't still having sex. I was so sick and she did not care. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Let's get into Summerhouse. First, we're going to break down each character and then we're going to get into what happened on the last episode that kind of turned me off from the show. So we're going to start with Jasmine. My God, today. Wait, is that her name? Yes, Jasmine. My God, today. Please go follow this woman on TikTok. She is doing her best to get a second season, and I am not hating. She is like, she's fighting for her life in them comments. My God, today. Go support this young lady. A lot of people do not like her. So Jasmine is the host of Summerhouse. I don't really watch Summerhouse, but I think that this is their dynamic where they get a main couple to bring all their friends down to Martha's Vineyard or the Hamptons or whatever. And they come down from New York and this is what they do for the weekend. But but Jasmine is hosting her friends at Martha's Vineyard, which is like a Black affluent area. And she invited all her friends down for 2 weeks. Basically, these people are bound together in this home for 2 weeks to just really, farm content for the show. So she is the host, along with her husband, Silas, who we will get into. But she's the host. And I feel bad for her because a lot of people do not like her. And I feel like if you don't host, then you will not understand her. Hosting is such a hard thing to do, especially when it's 2 weeks and especially when it's a large group of people. She is finding her footing and trying to do the best she can while still enjoying her time. But unfortunately for her, she mixed friends groups, and you should never do that. But she did it. But she is hosting the whole cast with her husband, Silas, who is a Liberian Navy guy, I think. Army Reserve guy. They were really playing up Liberian and African American. And like, I get it, right? It is two totally different cultures. But you've been in America for a really long time, Silas. Like, I felt like they were just doing too much. I get it. It's an intercultural relationship. But I just felt like he was acting like he didn't know a lot of African-American stuff. And I'm like, you didn't grow up in the Liberian neighborhood. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. But I think it's cute. Y'all know I love a little intercultural Black relationship. And a lot of people don't like Silas. A lot of people think that he is overbearing. He's very possessive. I will say this. I think that Silas and Jasmine are playing into the character that they are for this show. So that's the thing. Like, maybe we need to get another season or a third season to really see who these people are. But I feel like they are playing characters. And people have to realize a new show, the first season of a new show, everybody is fake. Everybody is fake. You're not really going to get to see who these people are until the middle or the end of the season. And it normally comes after a night of heavy drinking. Right? So I feel like we just got to give them a minute to get their footing, because I think that they are just playing into their characters. I think that if Jasmine was really with a guy or married to a man that we would all have to worry about, I don't think her friends would talk about it so easily on the show. Right? I just feel like the way that people are describing Silas in this home, I think that they're getting prompt to say that. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's all they bring up about him. And then we see a scene where he's actually doing that. It's just giving me story. I could be wrong, but it's giving me story. Now, before we get into the other characters, I want to say this. I know that this is the tradition of Summerhouse because I used to watch it off and on along with Below Deck. However, I think it was completely inappropriate for us to watch Silas and Jasmine doing that aggressive hunching. It was a lot. That Jack and Jill hammer jacking that he was giving her, I was like, this is too much. And it looks painful. We should not be in these people's bedroom. Like, guys, Not only did they give us the hunching scene, they prepared us with the video footage of Silas pulling off his panties, then jumping on Jasmine. Then we hear the then we hear the sounds, and then all of a sudden there's like a background noise that sounds like somebody is mixing macaroni and cheese. Absolutely not. The devil is a liar. Let's leave that off of here, because I don't know if you know Bravo, but yes, Black Americans, a lot of us do vote liberal, but we are very conservative. My God, today, the way I was clenching my pearls, I was like, what is happening? What am I watching? He was just pile driving her. My Jasmine, you got to tell him to like slow down, get some. Oh my God, today, props to your vagina. But I just feel like they need to leave that alone, because I feel like the audience that they're directing this to is not at Bravo. But the blacks don't like that. The blacks don't like I can't believe this is what's happening. Anyway, let's move on to Jordan, who everybody goes up for. Gorgeous girl, former playmate. All of the women on the show are former Playboy bunnies. That's how they all met. Jasmine is not only a former Playboy bunny, she's also a former playmate. Beautiful girl. I think she's living in the past. We gotta be honest. The way she brings up being a playmate. First of all, I didn't know that was still a big deal. And I didn't know that the magazine was still around. Am I confused? Are they still doing Playmates? I thought that went away. Anyway, it's a huge accomplishment for Jordan, in her words, and it's a really big thing. But she thinks that people treat her differently or better because she's a playmate, and that's why she thinks that she is still single, because she feels like the men that approach her, once they find out that she's a playmate, they start to treat her differently. And she's like, I'm not really getting the guys that are for me. The guys are just really around because they want to be seen with the hot Playboy playmate. Is this in the Black community? Are you talking about white men? Because Jordan, it's not making sense. It's not making sense. I was like, you must not be dating Black men. There's no way that any Black millennial like really is going crazy about dating a Playboy playmate. Now, if you model for King magazine back in the day, I can understand. But she's a beautiful girl, but it's given a bit Delulu. But I like her. I will say I like her. I don't think she likes Jasmine. And I think that Jasmine and Jordan's relationship is a perfect example of frenemies, where it's women who are really good friends, but they don't really feature each other. Now, they may love each other, right? And nobody else outside of the friends group can talk about them. But in that friends group, they go word for word, bar for bar, and hating on each other. And that's what I'm getting. Because Jordan, the way you talk about Jasmine, you're not featuring her. You talk about Jasmine the same way that Jasmine talk about Bria. She not featuring Bria, but they will still remain in this friend group. Just a toxic mess. Good enough for a second season. Preston Meacham. I know him from Twitter, and I'm really surprised that he's on this show. Because Preston, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to show Black people in a different light. You're doing the whole Black excellence thing. Preston is always giving a speech about, Black people and, very fight the power, right? But baby, you on reality TV. You are going to have to unloosen that handkerchief and get gutter, Preston. If you can't do that, this show is not for you. I feel like what he's trying to do is what he does on Twitter, which is great, which is beautiful. He really rides for the Black community. I get it. You on reality TV. You want to throw a drink. You want to read somebody down. You want to put somebody in the chokehold. I don't know if this is the medium for you. But he's handling himself really, really well. Let's get into Jiminy Cricket, also known as Nick. Jury's still out on him. I don't know what's going on with this man, but there's something up with him. There's something up with him. He gives me Wolf of Wall Street. There's something up. We might not find out this season, maybe next season, but something is up with him. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Shanice, gorgeous woman. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Great for reality TV. She's also a former playmate, a former bunny. She's also somebody who's a part of the friend group. She's also somebody that has a 9-to-5 job, and she can only come to this show on the weekends. So we're not going to get much of her, but what we do get is enough. Amir. He's a biracial boy. He's biracial. He's biracial. My God, today, you have to have something else going on besides you being biracial. I feel like every sentence, he talks about being biracial. He's 2 seconds. Amir is 2 seconds away from telling the audience how terribly Black kids treated him. I'm telling you, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Nobody holds grudges against Black kids more than biracials and first-generation Black immigrants. Let's talk about it. The hold that those third-grade African-American bullies have on y'all today as adults it's like crazy. It's crazy. And I feel like Amir, he's 2 seconds away from giving us that story. He's 2 seconds away, because it's always a story like this. It's always, Black African-American kids, Black American kids make fun of my name. But I never experienced that, at my white school. You're like, really? You never got bullied at your white school? No, they just put a noose around my neck and tried to hang me from a tree, but everybody joked about it. And you're like, wait a minute. Those white kids tried to kill you and those Black kids just made fun of your name? What the hell is going on? The grace that y'all give white bullies is crazy. The grace that y'all give them with them Black kids, y'all still want to beat them up to this day. But I feel like Amir, he's almost there. He's there. I feel like we just need probably one more episode or one more season, and he's going to give us that story. Just wait. Hold out, African Americans. It's coming. Bria, my God, today, I'm so disappointed. I thought I would like her. I'm not going up for Bria. I am not going up for Bria. It's not working. It's not working, Bree. It's not working. You are getting on my nerves. Yikes. I like him. This is Alex. Obviously a Kappa. The whole house is full of Kappas and Sigmas. Pray for us. I like him. He's a nice guy. He doesn't have much of a story, but he's interesting enough to keep it going. Let's get into this last episode. So in this last episode, 2 people end up leaving the house. They're not pictured. One is Phil and one is Mariah. Phil is Bria's friend that she invited on the show. Phil leaves because Phil just came in, he was just a nightmare. He came into the house trying to just get in to mess with people, defecated in somebody's bathroom and, wanted to show them his defecation and have them flush it. He was just out of his mind. He was also drunk, but even when he sobered up, he was still just a terrible person. So he absolutely should have left the house. This is where the show lost me, because Jasmine brought she calls her best friend, Mariah, to the house as well. However, Mariah was having a really hard time because Mariah is a city kid. Mariah is working class, like Jasmine, right? But Jasmine married a man who the whole cast gives me Jack and Jill or Jack and Jill adjacent Blacks, right? But Mariah is the only one who has maintained not only her working class personality, but her working class speech. Hood. Mariah's hood, right? So a lot of the house had a really hard time adjusting to somebody like Mariah. And I think the reason why is because she was not representing a class of elitism that the rest of this cast wants to represent on this show. Because Mariah spoke the way she spoke, and because she handled herself the way she handled herself, and because she was doing some things that she herself described as witchy, I think that the cast just could not get along with her because she did not represent what they were trying to show on the show. It gave me elitism. It gave me huge xenophobia vibes, right? Because Black Christians, especially Black millennial Christians, are having this thing now. And it's absolutely was given down to us from the boomer generation. But I thought that we had enough wisdom to know that this was just white supremacist ignorance. But now there's this wave, especially within the Black Christian millennial church, that our culture that was stripped from us is demonic and evil. And if you try to do anything concerning connecting back to the culture that was taken away from us, we are then doing things that are demonic and engaging in witchcraft. That's a big word for Elmo. It's a big word for the Black Christian church, especially the millennials. But now it's this witchcraft thing, right? So there was a scene where Mariah wanted to perform like a healing service for everybody at the house, but the cast was not very receptive of it. So Mariah felt some sort of way, on top of the fact that she misses her son, right? And she left him for 2 weeks to be on the show because it's a great opportunity, especially for someone who's an up and coming filmmaker. This is a great opportunity for you. So she was already feeling some sort of way about that. So she was in her feelings a lot of times on the show, but she was also, in my opinion, not included because of who she is and who she represents. And I believe that this cast did not want that kind of Black represented on this show. I could be wrong, but that's just what I was picking up because a lot of this cast hits me in my ancestors. Very honest about that. So Bria, who I'm not vibing with yet, brings her dog on this trip without telling anyone, not even the host, Jasmine, who was her really good friend. The funny thing about this was watching the Bravo viewers who were not Black not understand what the big deal was. Like, people were like, I can't believe they're this upset about a dog. But I'm like, for Black people, I think Black people across the diaspora, a dog is a pet, right? So even if we say that they're part of the family, it's still an animal. So they're not eating at the dinner table. They're not drinking out of our cups. They're not on our kitchen counter. They're not putting their paw print in our pizza dough. Like, they're not, like, we're not French kissing them or sucking their tongues. We're not using the same washcloth. We're not bathing with them. Now, some Black Americans do allow their dogs to sit on their furniture. Black people in general do allow their dogs to sit on their furniture and sleep on their bed. But there's normally a blanket that they have, and they're allowed to sleep on it. They're not coming under the covers, we're not breastfeeding them and all of those things. And I'm not judging different cultures, but I know that a lot of different cultures have a really special relationship with animals that is just not known to the Black community in general, right? So it's just really funny watching people be like, why are they making a big deal about this dog? What's wrong with washing your clothes with your dog's clothes? What's wrong with having your dog all over the house? Like, he can't, eat at the dinner table with them. And I'm like, if you weren't Black, you would not understand. You would not understand why it was such a big deal. But I said all that stuff about Mariah to say this. Mariah and Bria got into it about the dog. Nobody wanted Bria's dog there. But Mariah was already dealing with a lot of things. So Bria's dog was the tip of the iceberg because Bria was mad disrespectful about her dog. She brought the dog there, had this attitude of, well, she's here, so deal with it, right? Didn't really, do the best to try to make this a comfortable space for everybody with her animal being there. Didn't ask if anybody was allergic to dogs, didn't ask if anybody had a phobia, didn't ask if people were comfortable with it. She just brought her dog and had the attitude of, you just have to deal with it. So Mariah finds her clothes mixed in the dryer, mixed in with Bria's dog's clothes. So she says to her, which is not an uncommon thing, right? Because everybody had a problem with the dog. Mariah was the only one outside of Jasmine who voiced it to Bria. And she says to her, please stop washing your animal clothes with my clothes. And Bria bucks up and says, what you gonna do about it? So her and Mariah start getting into it, right? I like her and Mariah got into like a little pushing thing. Bria throws something at Mariah's face. The ladies are separated. Everybody goes out to dance. Bria is not okay with it. Bria is not okay with Mariah still being able to be a part of the group after that incident that they just had. Although Bria was bucking up on Mariah and telling her to lower her tone, people had to hold Bria back from going after Mariah, right? But Mariah's bigger. Mariah's hood. Mariah has a deep voice. Mariah speaks in AAVE all the time, even on camera. So because Bria now has a problem with the cast accepting Mariah, she's making it a problem for everybody else. So as the group gets together and rightfully decide to excommunicate Phil from the home, because Phil has done several things in a span of an hour, from defecating in somebody's bathroom to getting into it with the mayor, to getting into it with Alex. He got into it with Nick. He was about to get into it with Preston. Like, he was just aggravating so many arguments right away. And it just was not a healthy and conducive environment. So they all have a meeting and they say, well, he has to go. Then Bria says, well, if my friend has to go, then Jasmine's friend, Mariah has to go. Now, Mariah is allegedly Jasmine's bestie. I don't think they're besties anymore. I wouldn't be besties with Jasmine after this. So now the whole cast decides, although they have had no issues with Mariah, no beef with her, she hasn't done anything to them, they all decide, well, yeah, Mariah has to go, because Jordan says that she, reenacts how Mariah pushed Bria. In my opinion, Jordan was putting 20 on 10. She was putting 20 on 10 with that situation. So they then decide to not only get rid of Phil, they also get rid of Mariah. And that was the thing that really turned me off from this show, because it just gave me, I already felt it when I was watching it, especially how they were talking about Martha's Vineyard. And it was like so much Black excellence. And when there was a fight, Jasmine runs down the stairs and says, I appreciate you, Black man. I appreciate you, Black man. I appreciate you, Black man. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What are y'all trying to show? I feel like this show is trying to show white people what good Black people look like, right? That's what I'm getting from it. And that's why I did not like the mistreatment of Mariah, because I feel like Mariah wasn't a good Black, so they got rid of her. Phil, they absolutely would have kept. That's the thing that bothers me. They absolutely would have kept Phil if the men felt comfortable with him. And I get them not feeling comfortable with him, right? But if the women said they did not feel comfortable with Phil, I think the men would have fought for him to stay. None of the women, not even Jasmine, who's allegedly Mariah's bestie, fought for her to stay. It's just like, oh, it's a terrible thing. I got to get rid of my friend. And then Amir goes in to console Mariah as she's leaving. And then we later find out that he was the one who mixed all the clothes. It wasn't Bria. And the next day he admits it and everybody laughs about it. So that's what made me feel like Mariah did not fit the culture of the show that the cast or whoever wanted to represent. Because why are you laughing about the fact that Amir started this situation? Even in his confessional says that he could have deaded it, but he just let it go. Why are y'all all laughing about that if y'all could have changed the trajectory of Mariah's experience in this home? I think they wanted her out because she did not represent the kind of Blackness that they were trying to show on this show. And that's why I kind of got a problem with Summerhouse. Summerhouse, Martha's Vineyard. I will say I'll keep on watching because I like Jasmine and Silas. I want to see what happens with this relationship. I don't think that he's like Ike Turner. I don't think that he's that they're trying to make him out to be. But I do think that there are dynamics in their relationship that need to be, discussed. I think that Jasmine, found somebody who, we got to be real, would take her out of homelessness. Sorry, Jasmine, but it happens, right? You're struggling to take care of yourself, and then this man comes in who will, take care of everything. You just gotta survive the power drive. But that, I understand you being in that situation, and that is no kind of read. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic between Amir and Jordan, because Jordan is not attracted to Amir. I don't think that Amir is attracted to Jordan, but he's trying to reclaim his blackness and figure out who he is. So he's going to try to do that through a relationship with a Black woman. We all know how that ends up. Nick, Jiminy Cricket. Let's talk about him real quick. If you watched the last episode, we find out that he has a girlfriend, right? Very weird. In a very weird way, right? So they're all just talking, connecting. And then they ask Nick about like his dating life or whatever. He says, well, my preference is Black women. But I do, I am seeing someone. And I think Jordan was like, you have a girlfriend? He was like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. It feels good to say it. My thing is the girlfriend white, Nick? Because why did he say, I have a preference in Black women? Why did you start off with that when people asked if you had a relationship? Again, I think it's because they are trying to portray this kind of Blackness. And if he has a white woman, it probably won't look well on the show. For whatever reason, he had to answer like that because of what this show is. It was really weird. It was a really weird way to say that you have a girlfriend. But earlier in the episodes, they were trying to portray that he was going after Jordan as well. So that story just fell flat. And now they're trying to pursue this story with Amir and Jordan. Weird behavior. This is the thing. Mariah needed to go home. Although I didn't like how she left, she needed to go home. She was a mom that was missing out on her son, and she just did not fit this group's culture. So she needed to go. I get it. Phil needed to go because of his behavior. Here is why I hate that he started off being so terrible. Because Phil got that house rocking. Phil came in and turned that house upside down, and you need a character like that. You need somebody who does not have alliances, who does not mind starting a little something, who don't mind stirring a pot and watching it burn. You need somebody like that. So I was so upset that he left, because I'm just like, without him, who else do we have that's going to shake the table? Along comes Shanice. So let's talk about Shanice. On the last episode, the big thing with Shanice was that Alex is attracted to her, but because Shanice was stalking her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, who's the star of Insecure, not Lawrence. So because Shanice was stalking him, he don't feel comfortable pursuing a relationship with her. I don't care about none of that. All I heard was she was stalking her ex-boyfriend, who was a star of Insecure. And so I was like, well, who is this person, right? Who is the star of Insecure that Shanice was dating? I looked up who Lawrence was dating. He's married to a woman that looks like Shanice, but is not Shanice. So I'm like, okay, maybe it could have been him. But then I'm looking it up and there's just no kind of connection, right? So I'm like, well, who is it? So I finally put her name and star of Insecure in the same sentence, and this guy comes up. Who is this? Fine. I will give him that. Fine specimen. Who the hell is this? I've seen every episode of Insecure thrice. I do not know who this man is, and I honestly feel like this show just made this up to make Shanice interesting, and I don't feel like they need to do it. I think that Shanice is the only one that's working a 9 to 5 that can only come to this house on the weekends. So she's here to turn up and have a good time, and I think that she's already going to give it. Y'all don't got to give us a backstory on her. I think that she is going to give you a show. Y'all don't got to add all this nonsense to Shanice. That story did not help at all. If anything, it made me kind of look at this show like, now why y'all playing? Star of Insecure? Who is that man? Who is that fine man? Right? But I do not remember him. Now, was he a lead extra? Or did he actually have like multiple scenes in episodes? Like when you say Star of Insecure, I'm like, Issa Rae? Molly? Lawrence? Who the hell are we talking about? Not that man. Anyway, I'm going to give this show a try. I'm going to watch it a bit more. Now I know what the culture of this show is. So I can go into it already knowing what I'm going to be getting. But I'll tune in. I think you all should tune in. You know, it's a Black EP. Bravo don't have a lot of Black EPs, and there's not a lot of Black EPs on these kind of shows. So let's give them the support. They got 2 more new cast members coming in, I think, next week. So I'll continue to check it out. I don't think it's a bad show. I think they got a little rocky start, but I want to stick around. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. Oh, we got a super chat. We got a super chat from Sebastian. Sebastian said, I tried with that show, but I hate the uppity people who get on camera and act as if their money is as old as the consigned designer wares they struggle to purchase. Honestly, this could be a one and done. Ooh, do you guys feel the same way? Thank you so much, Sebastian, for the super chat. Smitty said, LMAO, I'm screaming as a biracial. I apologize. I will say the biracials who got a Black mama don't experience this. You know what? You're right. Them Black mama biracials. Y'all never let us down. Y'all never let us down. Bianca said, I feel like the best reality TV right now is when real life things are going on and are played out and talked about on the show. I agree. That's organic reality. That organic reality TV is dead. Yeah, we got far too many people. We have far too many people producing now. It's not good. Yasmin said, I think Jordan like pre-marriage Jasmine and she cannot stand married Jasmine. Right. I think that's the case as well. I also think that Silas don't like pre-married Jasmine, and that's what Jordan represents. And I think him getting in between that relationship is just not going to be good, because at the end of the day, women will always need their community. You will always need your sisters. So I hope that he doesn't break that relationship up. And yes, is Jasmine annoying? Talk about my man, my husband. Yes. What woman is not like that as a newlywed? That's gonna be me. I'm sorry. I'm letting you know right now. I'm like, I'm so late, y'all. I'm so sorry. My husband. Like, come on. It's gonna happen. Let her be annoying. It's the first year of their marriage. She's going to be annoying for a minute. Let her have that. Don't tear her down because of it. Like, you're not going to be the same way and want some grace. Oh, yes. This is not about the show, but I want to address this. Kai said, I know I'm late on Vanderpump, but Ariana did freeze her eggs. She wanted to freeze embryos, but he wouldn't stop drinking for 5 days to collect his swimmers because they were swimming in somebody else. Anyway, Let's stop playing these games. Who do you see? That is Jiminy Cricket. If Disney ever does a live action movie, it needs to star him. What was Jiminy Cricket in? Whatever Jiminy Cricket movie he was in, it needs to be him. This is human Jiminy Cricket. What's the Goblin King? Who is the Goblin King? OMG. Peyton said, Nikki, I miss you so much. I'm starting from the beginning now. Just wanted to say hey to my sad sister. Hey. DGF627 said, right after that Playboy documentary expose, being a former Playboy bunny is not a flex. It's not 1972. Thank you. I thought I was crazy. She was like, yeah, you know, the guys that approached me, you know, they only approached me because I'm a playmate. I'm like, really? You are not talking about black men. There's no way. There's no way. I do like that too, Priscilla, but I feel like they're only trying to represent one type, and that's what's bothering me. It's our song. He's a inspiration, yeah. Inspiration. Missy said these pics of the men look AI generated, but I also haven't watched the show. That is from Bravo. I got them directly from Bravo. Ima said we were kids. Everyone was razzing everyone. I got it for being dark. Kids pick on and make fun. Oh, me too. Let me tell you something. First generation black immigrants, everything you got called, I got called too. Baby, I'm like, I'm one of you. What the hell is going on? Oh, the grace that white bullies gets is astounding. Is astounding. Like, they will literally recount a story where a white bully tried to kill them, and they'll be like, "Oh, but we were kids." Why the hell you still want to beat up black children? I'm like, what the hell is going on? They say he got a girlfriend. I believe it. Like, I feel like Amir. I think I've seen him on something before. He is giving me reality TV pick me. I feel like he has been running the reality TV circuit for a minute, and he's going to say whatever he has to say to stay on this show. I don't think, no shade Amir, I could be wrong. I don't think black women are his thing. So him being attracted to Jordan, something not, I don't see it. I don't think that I don't see it, bruh. I don't see it. And I feel like him, like, the black stuff that he's putting on, something up, Amir. Something is up. I could be wrong, but I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm going to keep watching. I'm so disappointed. I thought that would be my girl, Enrico. I thought that would be my girl. Same spirit, different melanin. She absolutely is Ashley Darby. She starts all of the mess. Then cries and acts innocent. And I'm like, because when she was sitting in that club, mad that everybody was having a good time with Mariah, I was like, oh, nasty work. That right there, at that moment, that's when she started her plan to get her out. Nasty work. Right? We all thought that we were going to go up for Bria. We all did. She lost me at the dog. And it wasn't the dog. It was her attitude about it. I'm like, you are an invited guest and you brought a whole animal that the whole house is going to have to care for. Because that's what happens. The whole house ends up caring for this dog. And you got the nerve to have a bad attitude about it? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Yeah, because we got to be real. Jasmine, we got to tell the truth and shame the devil. You sacrificed your friendship, your 12-year friendship, for a Bravo show. Because all that hugging you did on Mariah and you just call me when you get to New York, she's never going to talk to you again. Or I hope that's not the case. I really, really do. But I think if the friendship is done for her and she never talks to you again, I could see why. I could see why. That's your best friend of 12 years. You did not fight for her for 1 second. And the thing about it is, she didn't even see that you didn't fight for her. She just assumed that. But when she watches this, yikes, because that's the opportunity for the both of you. This show is an opportunity for the both of you. And you took the opportunity straight out of her hands. Now, I'm not saying that her behavior is excusable. Her and Bria were both wrong, though. So if because of her pushing Bria is the reason why she left, then Bria should have left for throwing something at her face and making contact with her, because she could consider that assault as well. But you kept Bria and let her go. I don't know. Yes, I agree, Teresa. This group is very unpolished. Cosplay elite. Yes. Tracy said, my dog sits on his couch and I sit on my couch. Period. Yup. Pink Puddle says, I have a specific sheet for my dog that she sleeps on. Guys, I'm in a La Crusade lovers group, right? And this lady posted a pan, and she posted, it was like half of the pan was discolored. And she said, my cat peed in my La Crusade pan while I was away on vacation. So my cat's urine has been sitting in this pot for a little over a week. Is the pan salvageable? Before I could type, everybody started responding. Of course, it didn't look like me. They were like, oh yeah, you just got to put this cleaner in it and it's good, brand new. You can use it again. So she takes their advice, cleans the pan, shows everybody that she's cleaned the pan, and she's like, I'm going to use it tonight to bake some bread in. If that were me, the pan and the cat would have been gone. Different cultures. I could not believe it. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, your cat pissed in the pan. You cannot use that. Ciao. Different cultures. DGF said, exactly, Nikki. It irks my soul that people don't recognize the colonization of African spiritual practices. Yeah. Like, first of all, let's talk about how Black Americans do a lot of those practices, but we just haven't named it and we don't know. Like, there are so many things that we just do culturally that we think is normal, but no other culture does that but us. And if it was actually named today with how we name things that we think are African, we would call it witchcraft. You put your purse on the floor, Black woman, Black Christian woman, Black American Christian woman, you put your purse on the floor? Absolutely not. You get a chair for your purse. Why do you do that? Come on. Let's not play these games here. Child. Filthy. Oh, I won't do that because people might do that. We're all different. It's okay. It's okay to be different. Let's celebrate our differences. Just simply said, and Amir Punk behind should confess that he was the one who mixed the clothes. I hated that scene where he laughed with Shanice about that. He's like, yeah, it was my fault. And you didn't want to fix that because y'all did not want that kind of Black person in that house. Let's be real here. She did not fit the narrative that you were trying to sell to the audience. Bria said, Phil should have definitely confronted Bria only. All that other stuff was nonsense for no reason. Yeah. Even if he was drunk, like he said, oh, I was drunk, so that's why I was acting like that. Well, then you still don't need to be on this show because you started fights with the majority of the cast. I forgot to talk about Jordan. Phil was absolutely out of line. Jordan was doing too much. What the hell was that? Why was she about to fight Phil? Wasn't that weird? That was so weird. She was trying to talk to him, and of course he was flirting. Jordan, you were sitting there in a bikini with your titties in this horny man, drunk, horny man's face, right? And he's trying to talk to you, but at some point he had to acknowledge the titties. He's like, "You look good though." He's like, "Yeah, I hear what you said, but you look good though." And she like gets mad, and she's like, "I'm trying to talk to you. What you do? What the hell happened?" They had to like pull her back. She's like, do something then. And I'm like, what is going on? Maybe they cut out a lot of that scene, but her reaction to Phil was so overboard. It like he was sitting there like, "What? Are you okay?" Phil was the level-headed one. He was looking at her like, "What is going on? What's happening?" "Yeah, you want to say something? You want to fight me? What? Weird. Maybe they cut some stuff out. Weird. The way she pushed Jasmine and Jasmine just took it, and Jordan was like, "Yeah, you don't like that. Neither did Bria." I'm like, you didn't have to hit her like that. Jasmine, you could have clocked her. She almost pushed Jasmine to the ground. Yeah, they don't like each other. They do not like each other. Jazzy Boo. So I thought the two. I think Mariah would have left because of how they treated her. And also because she missed her kid. She missed her kid. She was already crying about missing her son. So she would have left eventually. They did not have to put her out. I agree. I absolutely agree, Teresa. Disappointing. I'm going to get a couple more and then I got to get out of here. Ciao. I gotta get out of here for 90 Day Fiance. Tia B has said, "Nikki, the reason it's annoying, she keeps saying my husband, is because everyone knows everyone in that setting. Who is she introducing him to? She's a newlywed. Let her be annoying. Let her be annoying." Thank you. Yasmin said Jasmine should have grabbed her best friend and allowed her to tell her side. She just let them throw Mariah out and then laughed about her leaving. She's not a friend. Listen, Jasmine, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm said, on a separate note, I think the OG Summerhouse did a great job naturally diversifying over the years. Season 7 is totally different from season 1, and I love that. Oh, see, I checked out. It was just too much drunkenness for me. But I'm glad it's doing well. Teresa said, dating, marrying during the height of the pandemic on a 6 months timeline. Shoo! I will say this. When Jasmine said that her and Silas met during the pandemic and like they got married right away, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Why? We were all craving touch. We were all craving relationship because we were just held back. So Jasmine and Silas were not only able to start a relationship, but because there was such a need for just human interaction and touch, they were able to just, go full speed ahead. I think if they had met before or after the pandemic, I don't see them being together. But the pandemic will do something. Like a lot of us have changed. That pandemic has changed us. Ingrid said, respectfully disagree about Mariah. She could have stayed and added some need on the cast. I didn't find her speech overly AAVE, just my opinion. Yeah, I don't think anybody is saying that here. Maybe I missed it, but I like that. I like that she was different. I think the cast did not like that, or that they didn't like what she represented. But Mariah would have left, in my opinion, she would have left eventually because she just missed her kid. She just missed her kid. He's good looking, but he's not the star of Insecure. They are lying. They are lying. They are absolutely lying. Oh, he does. He does look like a combination of Shamor Moore and Amari Hardwick. He does. You know what? I think I have that article. Let me read the article and then I really got to go. I think I pulled his picture from that article. Do I have it? if you guys could see the tabs that I have open right now, of course I'm doing my fall shopping. And his name, I got it. Norman Towns, girlfriend Shanice Jordan, 6 months of stalking drama explained. Norman Towns is known for his performance in The Affair and Insecure, currently streaming on HBO and gearing up for the 5th and final season. Norman has been an actor for a while now, and he is a dashing man with a good social media following. Who wrote this? Also in 2021, the actor was in a relationship with his girlfriend, Shanice Jordan. I feel like Jasmine wrote this. A relationship that has now gone sour, and for 6 months, his ex has been stalking Norman. So here we are diving deep into the love life of the insecure actor and all the drama surrounding him. The insecure actor was born on December 26th to his parents in Los Angeles. What the hell is this? He grew up in a big family with multiple siblings, and from a young age, he was a funny member of the, oh wait, Norman wrote this. He had to have written this. He graduated magna cum laude from the University of what? They just said from the university, and gave into his skill as a comedian to make a career in the City of Angels. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But before getting into his acting prowess, here is everything you need to know about his girlfriend and all the drama in his life right now. What the hell is this article? Norman is a good-looking man who has been winning the hearts of ladies all over the world. Either Norman or his mother wrote this. Beyond his good acting talent and comedy skills, the looks of Towns is nothing to scoff at. There are numbers of ladies thirsting over the actor in the comment sections to verify our point. The actor was dating his girlfriend, Shanice Jordan, in 2021. Maybe girlfriend is a little strong of a word to describe the relationship between the two. Still, the couple hooked up and were together for a little time. And one day, Norman saw someone's messages on her open computer, which read something along the lines that Shanice was having sex with multiple men. It was not the type of relationship that Norman wanted, so he broke it off. Well, that is when the problems began for the actor. Relationships are tricky. What is this? But one thing you never do is stalk your former partner. The actor said that he found texts from her on a computer that showed that she was having relationships with multiple men, something he was not down with. That did not go well with Shanice, who then went full stalker, and even after he blocked all her numbers in mail and socials, she managed to come back with other IDs to harass him. Norman said he changed his number multiple times, left his own home to stay in a hotel because she was sleeping outside his house, which she did admit to. The actor also said that he filed 7 more complaints with the police, but nothing stopped her from harassing him. He showed off more than 50 phones and email IDs Shanice was using to flood his phone. Then there were nudes she was sending to Norman's workplace and his friends. She started making a fake account with his names and photos to contact his friends to make him look bad. Norman expressed he was losing his money, and the whole ordeal was having an effect on his health. An ex-girlfriend going full-on creepy stalker mode is just not someone expect. There are so many typos. Who wrote this? I'm not gonna legitimize this foolishness, but that's the article that I got his picture from. So take with that what you will. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, these comments. I feel like it was Norman or his mom. One of them wrote that. I think it was Norman or his mom. Very tacky. He did. Anyway, fam, I'm late for my other live, so let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was fun. Give me a minute because I got to put the timestamps in. I don't know if I want to keep all of these shows together. We will see, because I know I might just do Vanderpump Rules alone because they have their reunion. So we will see. But I think I might just continue to review the Real Housewives of Atlanta and then throw Summerhouse in there for anybody who's still watching. So that might be our format moving forward. Anyway, thank you all so much. If you watch any TLC show, join me over there in a few minutes. Let me eat some watermelon and I'll hop on soon. Love you all. See you soon. Bye. Mwah. Oh, these timestamps. It's going to be a task.